glittering casinos to the desert sun. We're making magic with the things we've done. Laser engraving, resin gray. Laser engraving, carving the way. Resin painting, painting our own. Painting our own clay. Vegas nights, a 3D delight. We're pushing limits, reaching new heights. 3 HP in the city where dreams meet. Las Vegas, where creation is sweet. In the city where dreams come alive, Las Vegas lights shining so bright. We're getting high on technology, no surprise. 3D HP, we're taking flight. From the glittering casinos to the desert sun, we're making magic with the things we've done. Laser engraving, carving the way. Resin painting, painting our own. Painting our own clay. Vegas nights, a 3D delight. We're pushing limits, reaching new heights. 3 HP in the city where dreams meet. Las Vegas, where creation is sweet. From the glittering casinos to the desert sun, we're making magic with the things we've done. Laser engraving, resin gray. Laser engraving, carving the way. Resin painting, painting our own. Painting our own clay. Vegas nights, a 3D delight. We're pushing limits, reaching new heights. 3 HP in the city where dreams meet. Las Vegas, where creation is sweet. In the city where dreams come alive, Las Vegas lights shining so bright. We're getting high on technology, no surprise. 3D HP, we're taking flight. From the glittering casinos to the desert sun, we're making magic with the things we've done. Laser engraving, carving the way. Resin painting, painting our own. Painting our own clay. Vegas nights, a 3D delight. We're pushing limits, reaching new heights. 3 HP in the city where dreams meet. Las Vegas, where creation is sweet.
Hey, welcome everybody. We are live on YouTube and Twitch. My name is Jerry, live from Las Vegas. We got Tor from TH3D, the support guy, live from California, and Kenny Sims, live from Henderson, Nevada. How is everybody doing today?
That's Henderson, the Beverly Hills of Las Vegas, okay?
Yeah, I live up on Sunrise Mountain.
Yeah.
Anyway, how is everybody doing?
And I'm up by Black Mountain. So, anyways.
Alrighty then. Yeah, my computer said rain coming. I didn't know we had any rain outside. Oh, we got a sword. Let's see what we got here.
What is it? I got this one. And I just finished gluing up this one.
Oh, nice.
I still have a few parts to print for them, though, because they fell off the bed.
What are you printing that on?
These are being printed on the bamboo. One was this one was printed on the SV08, but I'm having some issues with it right now. So I have to finish them on the bamboo.
Nice.
It'd be fun.
And I got a notification from UPS yesterday that my Sobel SV08 was coming yesterday, but it didn't. So then UPS updated and said it's coming today between 12:30 and 4:30. But when I track it, I'm looking on my computer. It still says on the way. It hasn't dropped down to the box that says out for delivery. So it'll either show up today or it'll show up probably Monday. But it's almost here.
I've been dealing with that a lot this week with UPS or USPS. A couple custom packages have been out for delivery, then arriving late, then out for delivery and arriving late.
Yeah, then 2 or 3 days later, you get it or say delivered, or they'll say they can't deliver it. I hate USPS.
I hate logistics in general because I think we waste so much deal with logistics. Now, because I've seen stuff come in from China, go to Alaska, go to Kentucky, then here.
Hello, Stephen. Hello, everybody in chat. Let's see, who do we got in chat here? Nikita, get a drink. Hello, Jose, Kenny, Sergio, Dave Patton. Don't bark. I already gave you a cracker. Big and Bad Joe. There you go, dogs. Giving out crackers. I know the salt's bad for him, but. Steve Gale, hello from Virginia. Matt will be here. He was here a bit ago, and he had something he had to do. He'll pop in later. And one thing I wanted to mention really quick, the Micronics Micron SLS printer, the powder printer that had the Kickstarter for over $1 million, and then they got shut down. Then, who was it? Formlabs came along, which sells really expensive equipment that we can't afford.
They didn't get shut down.
Well, they got bought out.
Yeah, they got bought out.
They got bought out for a ton of money, and now they work for Formlabs, allegedly. And what basically happened, in my opinion, is they got bought out and shut down so that people like you and me can never get into SLS printing unless you want to pay them $20,000 or $30,000 to buy their equipment. Then if you want to use powder from a different source or from China, you got to buy a license for thousands and thousands of dollars that will allow you to not use their products only. So it's kind of like if you came out with a car that could run on water, two things are going to happen. You're going to get bought out or you're going to disappear, one or the other, because now you're going to hurt the market because you have a cheaper product. But since China likes to copy everybody's products, hopefully next year, some companies in China will go, wow, that's a cool idea. Let's copy it like we do everything else, and then we'll all get what we wanted next year. So that's just
that lower quality.
Yeah, I wanted to rant on that for a minute. But I know Uncle Jesse, Joe Telling, then another man, I can't think of his name, he's got blonde hair, and he was reviewing it, and he had nothing but problems with the screw and tons and tons of problems with it, trying to get it to work right. But yeah, that's a shame.
And the lower quality is mixed because remember where the bamboo came from. At first, yeah, we had our issues because I was a Kickstarter with the bamboo. Yes, I had some shit go wrong. But over the years, bamboo, is a kick-ass printer, and it's from China.
Slowly getting it.
So not everything from there, but on the masses, yes.
I mean, even bamboo has their issues because look at the A1 fiasco.
I have more, a lot of people say, oh, I have no problems with their, the AMS.
No more.
My AMS has been nothing but problems as far as feeding and, unloading. And I've had so many jams on mine.
I swapped out the PTFE with ours and I've been having a lot less issues, but I don't do a lot of. The most issues I have with multicolor is the poop shoot, not the AMS.
Yeah.
I've almost destroyed a nozzle because it got encased in filament because it wasn't pooping out the back. It just built up.
And speaking of poop shoots, I cracked up on Samcraft the other day because he was talking about, it's fun. I guess somebody finally talked Samcraft into getting a bamboo and then where he puts it. So I chimed him like, dude, Ricky, mistake. Where are you going to put your poop shoot? Because, he had it stuck in a corner. He goes, if you watch one of my other videos, I was printing that out. I'm like, well, but when you set it up, you weren't setting up your poop shoot. There was
and my HT460 RF laser is at the port of LA. It made it from China, so hopefully the next 2 weeks I'll have it in my house and set up. So it looks, that's the picture is a little misleading. Here's another angle of it. It's not as big as it seems, but it doesn't have a CO2 tube, which you got to run water to cool it. It is air cooled. RF stands for radio frequency. So hopefully that will be here in a couple weeks. But it made it to America. So that's really cool. And resin printing, I'm currently working on the crow for my son. I've got the table done. I'm working on the characters. Brandon Lee, I just got him printed out in resin. So that'll be an upcoming video. And that's going to be a birthday present for my son. He knows about it. And that's what I'm currently working on.
And since it was flipping hot, I really didn't make anything this last week, but I did work on my light burn libraries specifically for my fiber. And I've got one sweet library. You might see it on Etsy one of these days.
Yeah, if you live in the States, the blue tough tube from TH3D, it's awesome. I've used it for years on my CR10s and all my other printers. If you live somewhere where you can't buy it, you can buy Capricorn. But personally, for the price, I would go with tough tube in America from TH3D if you're able to get it.
Yeah, we have like standard stuff for most printers that has a really tight tolerance like Capricorn. And then we also have the same spec, size spec for the bamboo printers that is specifically made for them.
Right before I did that video with the tough tube and AMS when I installed it, and I've done a video for TH3D, my buffer wasn't working properly, my AMS, and I was having trouble loading. Well, I got a new buffer from Sergio, and I got one from Bamboo. They sent it out. I put the new one on, done the video. Ever since then, I still can't get my filament to load. I don't know what the problem is. I can't get it to load. I got white lights.
Buffer?
I think it's got to be the buffer, but I've replaced the buffer in the back, and I don't know why it won't feed. I'm having trouble, so I have to figure out why. But anyway, and then I've been rearranging my hobby room. My laser room, I've got to take a table out of there I put in. I've got to take my fiber laser, move it down to the wall. I got to take the Raleigh diode laser, move it over to make room for the new one that's coming. And then my table, which is mounted to the wall, I need to extend it out about 6 inches for the footprint of the bigger laser. And then then the exhaust coming out the back, I might have to even extend it out more to make room for it. So I'll have to figure that out when it gets here. But anyway. And that's VO8. I won't be doing a live stream on it, but it'll be a series of videos. And I noticed that Navarre, which has done a lot of content on the SVO8, that topper, so if you want to enclose your SVO8 and you want to have that extended piece on top, he designed one which don't have any vent holes in it. That way, if you're printing ABS, all your hot air will go straight off the top. But when you go to printables, you got to pay $5 for the file, which is a bummer, but it is what it is. It's only $5.
Yeah, it helps to pay for filament for testing things like that.
Yeah.
It's also coming out with a new hot end. It's going to be using V6 nozzles for the SVO8. That's pretty much the same. Be a drop-in replacement for it, which I'm really excited about.
I don't mind paying for a file long as it's a good file. You know.
Yeah, it's a good file.
Because like my godfather, you know, I had so many problems with that. You know, seating them and then the chair breaking off, you know, the back of it. So I was thinking last night, it's like maybe I ought to alter that chair, make it, you know, go back, you know, the back of it go back a little further.
Then Pascal Lou, the man that I've been getting my fiber laser from, and I'll be getting my the RF laser. Here's a picture of him here. He sent me a PDF file, and I cut it out in Lightburn. I sized it up 200%. But then when I took the paper file, the colored part, and I tried to print that out, I had to print it like 20 times because I couldn't size it up to 200%. It was still too little. And then my printer wouldn't let me go to 400%. So I tried and I tried and I tried. Eventually on my inkjet, I was able to get it close to the right size. And I took some glue stick for one of my printers and I glued stick it on and I put a light coat of clear gloss over it. And super glued it to the base. So now when I'm working with those machines, if I have any trouble and I want to talk to Pascal, he's standing there supervising my work. So it's like a good luck charm. You know, just having him stand there keeping an eye on what I'm working on.
Let's be honest. You're not there. Yeah. It was another guy that actually came up with that, which was kind of cool. Yeah, and that also that Pascal is the same guy that sold me mine. So same company. Really good guy, gives great deals. Anyways. Why'd it get quiet all of a sudden?
Oh, I'm just reading chat.
Oh.
Hello, 3D Medic Vince. How you doing today? Chris Mink just resubscribed on Twitch. Thank you very much, my friend. I really appreciate that.
Nice.
I'll be right back.
I'll probably make it's been delivered.
Okay, cool. Oh yeah, speaking of Polymaker, their poly dryer got back in stock. What was it, yesterday or the day before? Because I've been checking, waiting for it to come back in because I had a link from the company so I could buy the poly dryer that comes with the one storage box, and then I was able to pick up 2 more storage boxes. So I jumped on it, bought it. I don't have a tracking number yet, but it's on the way. And then I went on my socials, all my socials, and I shared out one of my referral links saying, "Hey, it's back in stock, hurry." So hopefully people seen the link and they grabbed it before they went back out of stock again. Hello, Vincent. How you doing? Hope you're doing well, my friend. Here's the link if you want to pop in, Vincent, and talk about what you've been working on.
That's weird. Last I checked, it wasn't going to be back in stock till the end of the month because we have like 100 something on order from Polymaker.
I got an email like a week ago and it said they were in stock, and I 2 minutes after I got the email, I checked and they were out. So I contacted the company. They said something about Amazon inventory and some kind of a mix-up. They said, we'll give it a few days. It'll probably be back. And then 2 days later, there I was sitting on my computer because I usually sit here all day long, and there it was, and I bought it.
Got some PA 612 carbon fiber.
Oh, nice. Polymide. Never heard of polymide.
This is a 500 gram spool for $40. One of their fancier carbon fiber ones.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I won on NeroStream the other day.
Oh, cool.
So I got this for $5. I was super excited about that.
Very nice. That carbon fiber typically is very, very brittle. So definitely can't run it in AMS. You got to just have it on a separate spool holder, run it in the machine, and be careful with it.
It depends on the carbon fiber. I have our carbon fiber ABS and ASA carbon fiber running in my AMS.
Oh, and the other day I kept having the problem with the code. I finally worked it out. I ordered a roll of black PLA so I can print the part from Nadir to put on the SV08, and then I bought that fan that you recommended.
Nice.
And then one person, I seen one video where he's having you change a bunch of settings, and that way the fan will run at a lower RPM. You can just cranks it way down to like 10 or 5 or 10%, and then it speeds up when it needs to. Then somebody underneath the video made a comment that fan header he had it plugged into was so that when you get the enclosure, it runs that exhaust fan on the back. But if I do get an enclosure, I don't want an exhaust fan on the back of it.
Yeah, I haven't even, with my enclosure, I haven't even plugged it in. I'm not happy with the enclosure right now. I'm not happy with the printer right now in general. Yeah, all the internal parts for the enclosure, they printed in PLA. They're already warping.
Oh. Hey, guy.
Yeah, they even call it out in their, where is it? In their installation guide. It's going to focus. PLA printed. Yeah. That's inside the enclosure.
Yeah, if you run ABS and higher temps, it's going to warp and melt everything.
Yep. Already has. And even the door panels, the like door grips, handles and everything, those are all PLA, and their print quality is atrocious.
Wow. Yeah, I contacted them again, their rep, and I said, okay, I've got a tracking number. Can I review your enclosure? And he's like, nope, they're still for regular customers. So, all right, thank you. Have a great day. Whatever. I used to review lasers and stuff from them in the past, and all of a sudden, I guess they didn't want me to review the SV08. But thank God the community helped me out, and the community bought it for me. And my enclosure, I'll build myself out of materials that I have.
I'll probably be doing a design for one. I need to figure out I need to take off the doors, figure out the pin size, and then design some hinges. I should be good because I already have the sides, the back, the top, all that done in CAD, where I have the sizes and the hole cutouts for all the screws and everything.
Okay.
So the only thing left is the doors.
Well, I got some acrylic in the garage that I used to have in my CR10 enclosure. I can either cut it down on my table saw, or I can use my new RF laser that's coming to cut the doors for it. And then the rest will just have, dark sides, dark top. I prefer to have at least one side that's clear on the side, so that way I don't have to always look through the front door. But we'll see what I do. We'll figure it out. I got some 1/4-inch acrylic, or fairly close to it.
I'm and not sure. Oh, go ahead.
Uniformation is coming out with their new GK3. Hopefully next month. There's been a lot of pictures online. I have the GK2. Kenny has a GK2, but now the GK3 is much larger there in the picture. They're going to have a different wash and cure station. And I'm not sure what the third item is, and that's a curing station, the fourth item. I'm not sure if I'm going to be reviewing it, even though I did the GK2 possibly. I contacted my rep. I had to go through a company link and email them. So hopefully they'll get back with me, and hopefully I'm hoping to be reviewing it. And the build size, let me share my screen here. Let's see, which one is it? This one. And the build size is going to be 300 by 300 by 160, and that's pretty darn big. So I have a Pure Poly forge right now. This will probably be bigger than my forge. And then if I do get this in a review, then I'll sell my forge.
I'm glad they're finally making larger resin printers. I have 2 of them, and I never use them just because the only thing they're good for is like miniatures.
It's supposed to have a 6K screen, a 16K screen. Well, good luck with seeing the resolution. From 4K, 6K to 8K, I don't see a resolution difference. Maybe it's just my old eyes, but the quality looks perfect on all of them. So I'm going to say anything higher than 8, you probably won't even be able to notice the detail. But they're advertising a 16K screen, so it'll be really nice to see. And some kind of an anti-spill vat. Not sure if it's a cartridge or what's going to go in. I think it's some sort of a cartridge.
That might be what the third item was.
16K is nothing more than lipstick marketing.
Probably.
If you're thinking of an integrated, that might be the third item that was on the pictures, like a cartridge heater and mixer.
Could have been.
Just like when everything went 8K. Yeah, go find 8K content.
It's just like your TV set, 4K, 1080p. Sure, there's a difference between 1080p and 4K, but 8K, 12K, which we can't afford those TVs. At least most of us can't. You can't really see a quality difference. Your eye can't see it.
Yeah.
Right. It's just marketing.
Hello, Happy Art. Hello, Derek. Del Los Logos 3D Printing channel member. How are you doing today, my friend? So it'll be good to see when that comes out, if I'm able to get one to review it and add to my fleet. And let's see, Amazon has delivered me a couple wastegates today because when I get the RF printer set up and move things around, I printed out another 3-way so I can tie into one of my existing lines and go over to the third device and have a wastegate on it. So that'll be coming today. That SVO8 might be here today. I doubt it, though, because typically when UPS says on the way, it ain't going to show up unless it says out for delivery. And after 8 o'clock in the morning, if we don't see out for delivery, it'll probably be the next day. And I don't remember if they deliver on Sunday. I don't think they do. So it'll probably be Monday.
Special situations, if you pay for it, pay up the ass for it.
Hello, Tripod. How you doing today?
Hey, Tripod.
So I see Tripod just came out with a video. He went to Harbor Freight and done some shopping. He bought all kinds of goodies to use on his fiber laser, engraving on a hammer, and I believe an axe and some ammo boxes.
I saw his axes. Those axes look great.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a great big hooked axe here. It looks like a Viking axe I've never done nothing with. I need to wire wheel it down, get all the rust off of it, and then go over it with the fiber laser and clean it up and engrave it, but I haven't done it yet. But yeah, if you got tools on a fiber laser, and most guys have tools, you have endless things to engrave. Just go out in your garage and pretty much anything you see, you can engrave with a fiber, anything metal. You can personalize it. Yeah, it's pretty heavy, Russ, so I might hit with the wire wheel first and then do the final passes with the laser. Or I could try it just for the sake of the video with it being on there so bad to see how well it cleaned it. That'd probably be best. It'd make good video content.
Yeah, I got 28 days left in my Lightburn license. Oh, goody.
Yeah, you get so many updates, and then the next year you have to, if you want to keep getting updates, you got to pay out more money.
Which I do. It's a good company. They come up with some nice features.
And my power bill this year, I've been keeping my air conditioner at 80 degrees in the house here in Vegas instead of 78 or 79. And I've been trying to keep lights turned off and not run things. And from January through May, my bill was lower this year than last year. But when June hit, this is crazy, my bill this year is much higher than last year. I went from 169, my bill last month, to 361 this month. It is much higher. That's just nuts.
We've had a lot more heat this month too.
Yeah. I'm maintaining 80 degrees in the house, but yeah. That's just crazy to build up so much.
I'm not looking forward to my power bill. It was almost 400 last month.
Oh, nice.
Be quite a bit more this month.
Keyforge is a great program. Excellent program.
I really Forge when they.
Your mic cut out. I can't hear you. You said I really, and then it cut out. Imagine if you were doing an unboxing or something you couldn't redo. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got Scott with Edge of 3D. Hey, Scott.
What's up, guys?
How you doing?
How's it going?
Living the dream.
Polymaker dry boxes got back in stock 2 days ago. At least they were when I checked, and I was able to get my order put in. So
hold that thought, Jerry. Hold that thought for a minute.
Gonna go grab a pallet.
Yeah. And then they went out of stock, but Scott bought the rest. I know he said we wanted like 18 more dry boxes. I've got the unit coming with 2 extra dry boxes.
Not quite a pallet, but there's a whole box full of them.
Oh, cool.
Did the full shipment arrive in the U.S.?
Yeah, but they're still getting inventoried in. There's another one there. So, and then
you guys had to buy more than one. You guys are the guys during the pandemic. You bought all the shit paper, didn't you? Yeah,
there's all the materials for testing. Showed up yesterday. So I've been printing a bunch of that stuff to break. I got the IZOD tester built.
Cool.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, Vincent. Hey, Vincent, what's going on?
Not much.
Well, if it'll release, come on.
Keep your cats away from it.
Actually, I had to machine it was too heavy. The hammer was too heavy, so I machined the bottom of it out this morning on the Milo. Okay. Hollowed out the hammer. But anyway, it's done. Been printing up pieces to start breaking. There's a whole bunch of PA6 carbon fiber. And
I just got the PA612 carbon fiber in the mail.
PA6 carbon fiber here. Yeah, here's a roll of the PA612. I haven't even opened it yet, so I'll get to that sometime this weekend. Because I'm printing up all the test pieces right now.
Jose. Those red parts that you have painted on that look painted, why don't you hydro dip them? That would look cool.
The red parts on the
hammer hydro.
Those aren't painted. That's Polymaker Galaxy
filament,
Red.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Polymaker Galaxy Red.
Hey, Vincent, how are you doing today?
Yeah, okay. Oh. Yeah, I got an allergic reaction from some kind of medication the past 2 weeks, so.
Oh, yeah, let me run my banner through.
Basically, sleeping the past couple of days.
Oh, yeah, the winner who. Let me interrupt for a minute. The person that won the Ziltech filament last week, you probably have not received it because Ziltech in Houston, Texas had a Category 1 hurricane go through. They're without power. Things are flooded. It's completely trashed the city. The rep has your information. The filament will be coming, and whoever wins today, you will get it, but it probably won't be within the next 5 days. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Patrick from Light Source Engraving popping in. Patrick.
Hey, Patrick.
What's up,
Holy
guys?
hell!
How's everybody doing?
Very
All
good.
right.
Your garage is bigger than I thought, and you got it cleaned up really nice. It looks great. You must have had your wife do it for you.
Yeah, and I always thought, Patrick, I always thought you were in a basement, in a garage.
Well, the garage is in the basement. It's a walkout basement.
So it is lower than your house, is what you're saying?
Yep.
Okay,
Indeed.
got it. All right.
Check your spam folder, Mr. Diesel. If you filled out the form, Polymaker lately has been really good about getting right back with people. Because when people win every week, they usually get their filament right away. A few months ago, it was taking like a month, but then that should have been fixed. So check your spam folder.
Yeah, Sean, 3D Print General, just sent me an email the other day for when I won on Nero Stream. It took them like a day or two to get back to me.
Okay. Mr. Diesel, I'll check on it after the stream. I'll go on Discord and I'll check with Polymaker on it. But yeah, check your spam folder.
So Patrick, how are things going with your folks?
It's going, I would say, good.
Considering
they got a payout from the one vehicle that burned up. The State Farm has already put the ball rolling so that they're going to have an RV on the property next week. So they're going to have a 40-foot RV to stay in while they hopefully rebuild. Should have insurance payout to get the land cleared, and as soon as they figure out what they're going to do for a home, then they'll have money for that from the insurance too. So State Farm's really stepped up and took care of them. So that's been great.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
Is the house a total loss, or the front half of it, or
total loss? Everything's gone.
Wow.
That's too bad.
I spent a lot of hours remodeling that home. We gutted basically the whole place, and then added on an addition. Made the living room bigger, added a bedroom, bathroom, and just done it. And it was my great aunt's house before it was my parents' house. So
did they have insurance? Did they have insurance?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
State Farm.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Yep, they had great coverage with State Farm, and they're so far taking care of everything without question. They still don't know the cause.
Oh, so because it happened on July 4th, right?
Yeah. It was about 11 p.m. and it was after they went to bed.
So it wasn't neighbors with mortar rockets or something like that?
Don't think so. Because
Wow.
there's no neighbors on that side of the house, and the house on the other that's across the street is my brother's house.
And also, I want to say why tragic. I was impressed that Oak Glory and the original pictures was still out there. That was kind of cool. It's like Oak Glory was still hanging out there, man.
Let me grab a couple pictures off my phone here, and I'll put them up on the screen. But yeah, I couldn't believe it. The flag survived and didn't melt.
Derek, you're having the same problem? Was it Polymaker? I think Derek won 2 weeks ago. Well, that's strange.
I won like a month ago, I think. I don't think I ever received an email.
By the way, how the hell did you get off? How'd you get the day off?
I worked like several weekends and several Saturdays in a row.
Oh, and they finally give you a day off. Oh, okay.
Yeah, the one guy that I was filling in for, he got married, so I thought I'd let him take his honeymoon and help out.
All right, Derek, I'll check on. I don't know what's going on with Polymaker.
Double check your spam folder because my email went to spam.
You know, since he just got married, he's going to need all the help he can get.
I remember when Nick was moving to the U.S., things were delayed quite a bit, but then everything got better and everybody's getting their filament right away. So
Nick doesn't handle that anymore. That's Sean handles that now.
Okay.
3D print center,
Nick's out of that.
Okay,
By the way, this is Laser Weekend, isn't it? Or later on?
26th and 7th or something, the online laser convention. What days is that coming up on?
No, every other Saturday live stream. This is Laser Weekend, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
It
yeah,
is?
yeah.
Like
LMR's tonight.
Yeah, tonight. Yeah.
Oh, you guys haven't posted and I haven't heard nothing, so I didn't know what was going on or if I was going to be there or not. I didn't know what was going on.
You know what? I didn't even think about that. It is today. It's Saturday.
Yeah, there's no post, and I haven't heard 24/7. I sit in this chair and I haven't received any information from anybody about anything. But that is today.
Because weeks are going like this.
Yeah, they do. The older you get, the faster they go.
Since we don't really get to talk to you live a lot, Patrick, I'm sorry for all the questions, Jerry. I'm taking my chance while I got it. Well, I know Patrick's a busy man between his family and his job and everything else that he does. And I respect that. And,
Thank you.
Anyhow, on the coins, are they a lot better than what we get off of Amazon? I mean, because I didn't understand what kind of quality they are.
Yes, they're very good quality.
Good.
I would call them high quality coins. I haven't had anything that's been any better.
Good. And for those that don't know, Patrick does have a Patreon with his light source engraving.
So here's how they will arrive. And then it's going to focus on my eyeballs. There we go. It's just we're spinning that coin protector, but here's how it looks.
I'm still using Amazon coins at the moment. One of these days, I'll get some through you.
Well, I just did a little group buy through Patreon. That way, if anybody wanted some, they could get them at direct from China price, basically.
By the way, we can change out our base plates, right? Because I burn a hole in mine.
You burn a hole in the aluminum plate?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, you can do that. Yep. You can do that. It didn't go through the metal protective cover.
No, not all the way down. No, not all the way down, but a nice dent.
Okay.
Well, burn marks happen. I wouldn't worry about it. The machine's not going to fall over. It'll happen again. So if you can, put a piece of steel or something down.
I'm going
when I accidentally burned the black case that's on this WAN port, I just decided hell with it and threw my logo on the whole thing. That way, it kind of covers it up, and I don't care what happened to it now. But I didn't burn a hole through it.
No, it's not all the way through. It's just a nice chunk. Oh, and I made a really nice list this week for my light burn. All right, I'm done with my questions. Thank you.
Welcome. Jerry, that wireless HDMI thing we were talking about, this is it. So I'm going to plug this end into the camera and this end into power, and then I'll be able to get HDMI wirelessly from this camera.
Oh, nice.
Where'd you get that orange laser at?
I've got it running. Show you what preview of tonight's project.
My RF laser, Patrick, is in the port of LA. So hopefully the next week or two I should have it here.
Hopefully you'll have it soon. Yeah, that's what I've got going on right there.
Oh, I knew he was going to show it. That's got to show him.
Here's my little Pascal. I made 2 of them. Yeah, I was telling Kenny earlier, when I dropped the PDF in Lightburn, it's easy enough to size up the template to 200%. But in Lightburn, the body had an outline around it. It had background and then a real head set on top of it. So I couldn't do nothing with the photo in Lightburn. But when I went to print out the photo on the PDF on my inkjet printer, I sized it up to 200%, but it was too little. And with my software on my printer, I couldn't go above 200%. So I had to play with it. And after about 20 tries, I finally got it close enough that it lined up. And I cut it out with scissors and then used glue stick, glued him on, and put clear coat over top of him. So now he can supervise my work on my printers. I'll have 2 of them.
That's really funny.
What's going on?
Hey, speaking of Pascal, he sent my parents, he sent it to me, and then I gave it to them yesterday. He sent my parents $150. I thought that was pretty darn cool.
Wow, very nice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's a good dude. That was nice.
Where are they currently staying? Do they have a friends or something, or?
My brother's house across the street, although he just has a small 2-bedroom place, and it's him and his son that lives there. They just are staying over there at the moment.
Till you get the RV.
Yep.
And one of the animals died in the fire, and one of them got hit by a rescue vehicle?
That is correct.
Is he alive, the one that got hit by the rescue vehicle?
Yes, he's back from the vet and doing well. It has a cast on his leg, but he's recovering pretty good.
Wow.
Good.
He's a miniature schnauzer.
Wow.
I mean, you couldn't make the story up. It's like you just can't make that up. Insane.
No, I mean, it happens.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, I remember when I was a teenager, apartment up the street from where I lived caught on fire, and I happened to be at my girlfriend's house, and I ran across the street, and the old lady standing in the doorway with the garden hose trying to put out her living room, and I took the hose away from her, and I managed to get it put out, but when I ran in the threshold, all that smoke hit me in the face like somebody hit me with a sledgehammer or a snow shovel right in the face. It about knocked me down. All that smoke, but I managed to get the fire put out by the time the fire department showed up.
They said from the time they got out to the time it was fully engulfed was about 15 minutes. It was just that fast.
Yeah, it looks like, that old, your great aunt.
Were they awake at the time or in bed sleeping, or?
Mom was asleep. My dad was. He had just put his CPAP on a couple minutes before, so he was awake.
So they smelled it, and
yep.
Okay, good.
I can relate.
Had their smoke alarms deactivated because the oven kept setting it off.
Wow. And that how just a little back here, because I'm from the same city as Weird Al. That's how he lost his folks, was carbon monoxide poisoning. So yeah, don't turn those off. Yeah, their fireplace backed up. So and that's how he lost both of his parents.
I did not know that.
Well, again, I have insight, because he's from my hometown.
I didn't know that. How far apart are you? How far apart are you and Jerry?
Opposite ends of the valley.
Yeah,
more fire and less fire. Always keep them close.
Yeah.
Gotta keep them close.
No little fun fact, Patrick. Kevin Costner was born in my hometown.
I have an extinguisher and a fire blanket right here.
I got one right there and one right down there. And then I got one, but a CO2 in the garage.
I've got an exit plan and good insurance.
That's also a good thing to have.
Yes. Well, I mean, if you're paying a mortgage, it's required.
If it starts burning, I'm grabbing my dogs. I'm out.
Yeah, it depends on how big. If it's something small and I can take care of it, I'm just grabbing the extinguisher and going at it. If not, I'm grabbing the cats and going.
They had time to get one dog out, couldn't find the other one. I think it hid under the bed and it didn't make it.
Josh with Recreator 3D shared me a bunch of pictures. I wanted to show everybody of his pellet extruder.
The pelletizer?
He was going to probably drop in here in a little bit, but let's see what I got here. Wrong direction. That's some of his filament that he's making.
Somebody that speaks good Chinese needs to talk to these people. They need to find something other than this crap here to wrap these bed plates with.
What they wrap it in?
It's some kind of plastic, but man, is it stuck down and it tears everywhere, leaving little chunks. And
is it just pretty much like saran wrap? Like the industrial?
It's saran wrap, but it's got glue on it.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, it's got some kind of glue on it because when you get it healed up, it's sticky.
He's coming in right now. I see that picture. I get hungry for donuts, don't you?
No.
Jerry, I got a quick video I can pull up whenever you are ready. No rush.
Just a minute.
A bit rough, but it's making your own filament at home essentially, so not too bad.
Sure, Patrick.
I mean, Sebastian, aren't they already plastic sprinkles?
Yeah.
Sugar with some plastic in there? Oh, wow.
This is showing that it got hot enough that it melted all those, the tote and the rafts at the pool. Hold on, I got another one. Let's see.
Or you can re-show that one since I got your big screen now.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
That's the back of the house.
That's nasty.
Melted all that stuff out there.
So
Jeez.
if you were out, yeah, you wouldn't even be able to stand there if it's that hot, that heat. Much
No.
heat.
Yeah, I've been thinking about getting above ground. Now that it's so damn hot.
I've had a bunch of above ground pools. They're just a pain in the butt. All the chemicals, the money you spend, and the next thing you know, you got.
Well, that's what's stopping me.
Yellow,
There's the other one.
Yellow jacket starts warm in the pool.
Van was in the garage.
So a pool is a hole in the ground you throw money into. A boat is a hole in the water you throw money into. An airplane is a hole in the sky you throw money into. And I'm not going to add the rest of it. Y'all will figure that out yourselves.
Well, boat is also break out another 1,000.
Two happiest days of a boat owner's life: the day they buy it, and the day they finally get rid of the damn thing.
Having a big RV, all the expense, insurance, you rarely use it.
Yeah, that's why last time I went in an RV, I rented one. You know, when I went out to my buddies out in Utah, I rented a Class A.
The whole part of taking
then returned it.
The whole part of taking a trip is to stay in different establishments. So I'd rather stay in different locations.
It was nice. I mean, it had 2 bathrooms and everything. I had it for 3 days, and then like, here you go. I don't have to change tires. I don't have to change the oil.
No, Chris, I don't know the cause yet. So what have you been working on, Mr. Vincent?
Oh, not much. I've been 3D printing phone stand for my dad. And the rest of the week I was basically bed rest. Had a real bad allergic reaction from the wrong medication. So I'm still tinkering around with it, but yeah, I'm up and running again. And I got my my new kit in.
Yeah,
But
airbrush. Nice.
yeah. So now I'm waiting for my compressor to come in, and then learn how to paint.
YouTube, lots of videos. It takes time, but you'll figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm also still, when I got time, printing the buildings from the Stargate. So, not much, basically.
Who's got something really high pitched?
Patrick,
Yeah, it's the LaserMatic.
you have a NVIDIA broadcast?
Yeah, and that's why I'm surprised that
It might be pulling just your microphone and not going through broadcast.
no, it's pulling NVIDIA broadcast. I'm going to have to increase the noise reduction.
There's another picture from Josh there. That print came out nice.
Let's see if that's any better. I adjusted it.
Well, it's better that the fan's off.
Yeah, that helps too. Here, let me turn it on. See if you can hear.
Slow down.
Yeah. Nope.
Nope, that's worse.
Worse.
Finally.
Got it all.
Yeah, look at this. I mean,
It's like melted to it, hard
Oh,
to
is
pull
that
out.
just
Wasn't it-
sticks to your fingers?
here you can take a look around the office now.
Nice.
Good thing you don't have carpal tunnel or arthritis. You'd never get that thing off.
Yeah, that was a chore.
Is that
Now
a
it's time to break
350
out the acetone and
Get
not
the
wear
gunk
proper
off?
PPE.
All right. I lied earlier. I got one more question for the guru, and he knows who I'm talking about. QPulse. Is QPulse always the same? Because it seems like it is.
You can change it.
But it always seems like it's 200 for me.
That's the standard. A standard non-MOPA laser. It has a 200 QPulse fixed QPulse width. So that's why most settings were developed for 200.
Okay. And like
When
Jerry
you're
said, I was trying to look at my my report when I got my machine, because that's what Jerry kept telling me was pull up the report. And I pulled it out the other day and I was looking at it. And I do see where it says 200 on the pulse.
Oh, we got a raid coming in. Hold on for a minute.
Yes,
Tech
sir.
Cheaper is raiding with 9 viewers. Welcome, Raiders. Thank you. I hope you had a great stream, Tech Cheaper. How are you doing, everybody? Thank you for the raid. Please like, subscribe, and share. And if you don't know, I'm Jerry with 3DHP, and each and every Saturday I go live on YouTube and Twitch, and I have up to 10 makers and content creators that pop in and we chit chat about this, that, and everything. Please consider following, subscribing, liking, all that good stuff.
I hate to correct you, Jerry, but you have 9 in here, and then you allow me in, and nobody's figured that out yet.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the raid. Lopez Liz, how you doing today? Project's coming. Here's what I'm currently working on resin for my son. It's The Crow with Brandon Lee. I've got the table done. I'm working on the characters. I've got Brandon Lee and the Crow done, but not painted yet, obviously. But I'm working on that right there on my resin printer, my GK2.
That's cool.
Yesterday we had a bunch of crows sitting on the rail on the back porch, and my wife said, if you happen to catch one of those, you should name him Brandon.
Yeah, my son's name is Brandon, and I've named him after Brandon Lee. Ladies and gentlemen, Josh, Recreator 3D is popping in. Hey, Josh.
Howdy, howdy.
How you doing?
Hey, Josh.
How's it going? Is everybody else warm?
107 today here in
Oof.
California.
We're only at 96 right now, but it's been cloudy all morning, so.
They say it's going to rain in Vegas, but I don't know when. I haven't been outside.
Let me
So,
look.
Josh, you want me to re-show those pictures and you can explain what we're looking at?
Sure.
Let me go back to the beginning.
Yeah, it's cloudy as hell.
Oh, Tuesday's actually going to be under 95. and then it's going to be 100 plus until the 27th. Super excited.
There you go, Josh. Take her away. Tell me when to change pictures.
Sure. So this is a pelletizer, and right now we're pelletizing the Pet 1, some scraps that I had from my antics doing that. You can see it's going rather fast. I've got another one coming to me as this one kind of broke on me. So with the pelletizing, we can make our pellets that can go into shreds or some variancing of our grinding down our waste. Right now you're looking at some of my waste that I've been collecting. If you guys have tuned into Jerry's other streams, you know that I've been collecting pounds and pounds and pounds of bamboo poop. So that waste has been granulated, ground down with combination of my shredder that I have, which is a do-it-yourself Chen shredder. We're using a we're using a coffee ground, an industrial coffee grinder off of Amazon. It's about $80, and I'm taking my shreds and I'm putting it in that. But you can equally take your bamboo poop straight from your bamboo poop chute and put it in and grind it down. So that grinds it down into about like I guess a 3mm spec, which is I'd say a smaller form than what we really need to shoot for with the ArtMe extruder, which y'all see in front of you now. So it is bored for about a 1.75 ish. I believe it was like 1.7. There's going to be some blowout, just like with what's going on right now. We got some gravity going on, and then we've got some pull back into the spooler. So I don't know if anybody else has a hard time driving things. Like, I like to think of it like driving a car. Some people like to have mechanic or an automatic rather than a manual. So this has kind of like a combination of some like speed and flow and spooling that you've got to kind of dance with. And for me, with dyslexia, I'm upside down trying to figure all that out right now. So the instructions are very, very, very thorough. So I just have to, be like, not like everybody else, and actually open up the manual and dive deep into that. But you can see the shreds there. So it's not actually going too hot. We're going about 180°C. That's just a starting point. My filament is very, 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 very moist.
Question.
Sure.
Question. Why do you not do a double extrusion? You know what I mean? If it would be possible to have a hot hand coming out with a little bit or a bigger amount than, let's say, what's the average? 1.75 millimeter, the thickness?
That's the standard, yeah.
Okay. Make it a little bit bigger, right?
Sure, yeah.
And then the second step, let it run through again a heater.
It would almost like further diameter it, right?
No, yeah, make it smaller, So
yeah.
The front speed needs to be going quicker than the back speed, because the back speed feeds in more X amount, and you have to calculate this out to do exact. But then
sure.
Also
feed it into the second one, but of course needs to work faster because it gets vast amount from the first one because of the diameter, and makes it into a thinner.
So I like the ArtMe until I don't know. I've not dived deep enough into the community itself, but I would assume eventually there will be some sort of tolerance, like automatic tolerance.
Yeah.
So that we can just see like, oh, it's at 1.7-ish, cool. There is some automatic.
Need to be crunched on that.
Yeah, there's some automatic dialing going on that you can do. But the nice thing
But another tip, right?
Yeah.
You can also have 2 different spool sizes, right?
Mm.
Like they use it in metal forges. Like imagining you have a rod, right? And then you have like it's called a roller, and you put the big rod in the first set of rollers. Then it gets low. You go in and go back, right? And then you put it in the second rolls of rollers, what are a little bit smaller, and you let it through running again, right? And the same principle to get a certain diameter, because if you have also the temperature very hot at the first to create the thick line, so when it comes to the second point where it makes it a little bit thinner, to still have it, I think, heated up slightly, but not as high as the first one, right? Because you only want to make it softer so you can mold it and shape it. Because if you see it like wax. Like
just well, like I said, it's like a dance to get this out. So like as it's coming out, you're like, oh, all right, I gotta maneuver it, and then depending on how fast you've got it pushing, and then how fast you've got it spooling,
that's all calculated.
It ends up being like a nice dip that stays at this nice dip where you're like, okay, it's feeding good, it looks tolerant, and it's not going under and it's not going over. It's just a nice happy medium where again it's got some like gravity a lot. I got all those numbers to dial in like you're talking about, but I hear you for like a secondary one.
Yeah, but if you want to solve the gravity problem that it doesn't hang, right?
Yep.
Why not feed it from the top down and then make a spool what runs around in that direction? You understand? Like
yeah.
But
sure, yeah. I mean, like my community for Recreator has been trying to kind of do a similar thing where they turn my spooler into an extruder, and it's possible. And so yeah, like I feel you. Like same kind of thing. Like a lot of people like pultrusion based off of a vertical pull, pulling vertically down rather than horizontally. You're able to like force your grip and your pull downwards rather than this way. Like
true, because of gravity and
power went out.
It will take. The only problem what may happen is if the string becomes too heavy and it tears. So
sure.
When it comes out from the top level, the first one, it still needs to be a certain level of hotness. The calculation you have to do of how heat. Let's see if you pull it out. Sometimes you can see it with the printer. Even the printer sometimes makes little drops, especially the old printers.
Sure. So like this is pretty much I got like I thought I was gonna have enough to finish my print, so I kind of undercalculated what I ran initially. So getting this going at first was very, very under toleranced, but it was like, okay, I gotta feed it a little faster, I gotta spool it a little faster, ooh, I'm spooling a little too fast, I gotta push a little faster, and
like it's all about timing.
Yeah, and so like anything else, like timing, right? So I got overzealous and I threw in a bunch of wet filaments. So my community's already like, it looks like crap, and I'm like, I got excited. I dumped a bunch of crappy filament in, and but for crappy filament, like that, it looks good.
I've seen water, let's say.
So like anything else, cameras don't do it justice like when you're in person. So like this is 0.3, and for trash filament, that's been again, this is going to be like rapid prototype material for me. It's not going to be anything that's gonna you're gonna write home to mom about.
Yeah. But if you
it's garbage filament, I'm staying trashy.
If you want some help with your calculations on how,
definitely. I'm horrible. I'm an F- to the point where they're like, we don't want to see you again next year, so we're gonna give you a D- to pass you. So I will totally take you up on your math. Like, you just gotta know that I'm not the best with it, so you gotta hold my hand like 5 different ways.
Well,
looking good,
sometimes
Patrick.
it's needed, right?
Yeah, perspective, you know.
Oh, thanks, Jerry.
Because you see it from a different viewpoint than I do.
Oh yeah. Like I said, perspective, and so like that's for me. That's a hard thing. I think for a lot of people
I totally understand where you're coming from. Hey, I want help, right? But I can't get any help right now because I'm waiting, you know. But I have some friends what I'm waiting for, right? But you know, I'm still waiting.
Good things come to those who wait.
Exactly.
The waiting is the hardest part.
And this is at the port of LA. It made it on a cargo ship. Hopefully, I'll get tracking in the next couple weeks and they can deliver it. Here's another angle. It's not as big as it seems to be, but I'll have to have my neighbor or somebody help me get it in my back door and lift it up and put it on a counter. It weighs about 120 pounds.
That's the type of help a 6-pack brings.
And nobody like my Tom Petty? Okay.
No, I like it, Kenny. I think you should take your act to Nashville. The walk would do you really good.
Yep. Walk off short pure, huh? I would love to go to Nashville.
Just grab a guitar and head to Nashville. By the time you get there, you'll have that singing thing figured out.
Oh man, I would love. I passed from Fort Knox to, well, they changed the name to Fort Rucker. I forgot what the new name is now, but because Fort Rucker is where I did EIT on helicopters, you know, where you learn your military trade. Anyways, and I saw Nashville on the freeway while I was in uniform, going from Fort Knox to Fort Rucker. And I was like, man, I want to go there. I always wanted to go to the Grand Ole Opry.
Rent a crank lift. You know, I was trying to figure out what I had in my garage that I could use myself to get high enough for the table. I'm assuming me and my neighbor could just pick it up and put it on the table, but I don't know. And I was looking on Harbor Freight to see what they sold that was reasonable. I never thought about possibly renting something. My beverage of choice, which is what? I don't know. I buy Walmart water in flavor packets and dump in them, and I drink decaf coffee. I don't drink beer very much. I got a couple of Coronas in the fridge. I drink a Monster for breakfast every morning, so my beverage of choice would be a Monster energy drink every morning when I wake up.
I do like some two energy drinks, but I kind of cut them out. I mostly use them as occasions, you know. I do like my Coca-Cola, so. Coca-Cola.
Hey, I'm done with carbonated drinks.
No.
I drink Diet 7-Up once in a while. It's got zero
Don't you
sugar.
know the water's poison? I'm just kidding, guys.
Depending on where you're at.
Yeah, actually, that's true.
Soda stream. Oh,
God's Family Country. That looks good.
With a
That's
flag
the Harbor
behind it.
Freight, or you order that from some other supplier?
It's a SOG.
It still blows my mind that you can get color out of laser.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to get anything fancy. I just wanted some like gold and
It
black.
just still like it's like an antiquing for half of it. You know, I know you can get them really rich and really contrasty, but that just looks amazing.
My plan is to give this away on the live stream tonight.
I'll be there.
You know, like if you didn't know that was lasered, somebody would have been like, oh, you spent some time like, you know, stenciling that with paint.
Yeah, yep, no doubt.
Check those out, lasered.
The only problem with that show, though, Patrick, is it cuts right into dinner time for the West Coast.
Those are high glossy metal business cards on a fiber laser.
So
and they come out nice.
You guys do all this stuff. So what's the durability on these? Can you like scratch them up? Can I take a fork and just grind them up and they'll stay fresh how they are, or will they get scratched up?
Anything would scratch if we got it deep enough, but yeah, for the most part, normal wear and tear isn't going to affect them.
Here's a screwdriver bit. As soon as it focuses, come on, camera.
Yeah, like more or less though, it's not really doing much, right?
No, not at all.
But you got to one of those thin business cards.
Oh yeah. So yeah, but it's gonna depend on your material, right? So like you're obviously like what's your knife made out of compared to the the lower grade business cards, right?
Right, aluminum versus steel, and yeah.
No.
And do the materials provoke different colors, different richer colors?
Yeah.
That is my next step.
Depending on the quality of steel you have, depends on what colors you'll be able to get out of it. Like here's an axe head.
Yeah, you probably already gave away that really nice one that you just did, what, a month ago?
All right, I got it, Josh. I turned your mic down a little bit.
Yep.
Or he still has it?
Yeah, people wearing headphones, noises are sometimes bother you.
Yeah, like Josh is right next to the fan.
Can you hear my fan? I can shut it off.
I don't hear it. It's fine.
That rumble, that's the fan.
And here's another example.
Yeah, see, he gets closer, you can hear.
Oh, you old people.
That sounds like somebody breathing into a microphone, like you're outside and it's windy. That's what it sounded like.
Hey, Jerry, I sent you a message. Please check.
Okay.
Check that out, Josh.
That's nice. That's that 20-year-old gap, you guys, where that frequency, you know.
Hey man, I just turned 66. Oh
Here's
wow.
the other one.
Those are brilliantly insane.
That's my granddaughter, but I don't know why she should be sending you a friend request.
I know. I didn't even know her, so maybe she's watching.
No.
Here's a couple examples.
Does anybody else just kind of relish in the fact that we can do all this stuff?
Just let you know, Jerry.
Absolutely amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, I just like watching what other people make too. It's inspiring and it's still amazing at the same time.
How many years have you been at lasers, Patrick?
3.
3?
Yeah.
With the amount of your knowledge, 3 years.
But that's all that he focuses on. He rarely 3D prints. That's all he focuses on is working with lasers every day when he's not working.
Wow.
Well, yeah, I pick up stuff normally pretty quick.
By the way,
it's slow, not as quick as when I was younger, but still fairly quick.
And by the way, your video this morning, impressive setup.
Hey,
yeah, it took a while to get that, get everything organized, but now I've got room and everything's much cleaner.
Very
you
nice.
think you can design your own lasers?
By the way, I'll send you a plane ticket. Do you mind?
You sending me a plane ticket?
No, Patrick. You can set up my shop.
We can go do his stuff.
If that's the only reason for the plane ticket, I'm going to decline. It's tough enough doing this one-car garage.
But it's a trip to Vegas.
Yeah.
But he wants to put me to work.
Here's another part I printed for my next laser coming, so I can tie into my existing exhaust, and I'll come off of it and I'll have another wastegate going to something.
I can introduce you to Wayne Newton.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to meet Wayne Newton.
Dankeschön, old Dankeschön.
Never liked Wayne Newton.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I went and saw the Billboard Music Awards in Vegas at the MGM Grand.
Hey, we have the spear.
Wayne Newton's so old he probably smelled like dirty diapers as you get near him.
And here's something that Scott
Hey, Jerry,
like.
we're not going to talk about this, please.
Before he lost his big house, the dude used to have a 727 in his backyard. He used to go down Sunset, you see this tail sticking out. Remember that, Jerry? If you ever went down Sunset, you see Wayne Newton's 727 in his backyard sticking out.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, but he lost that house.
I think we can give away a roll of Ziltech filament right now, but as I mentioned earlier, in Houston, Texas, they had a Category 1 hurricane blow in. They're still without power in most of the city, down trees, rationing food, just a lot of problems.
No one's talking about it.
The person that won last week probably hasn't received, I know they haven't received their filament yet, and whoever wins today probably won't get it for a few weeks while they're trying to recover from all this. And when I mentioned this earlier, then I found out there's been 2 people then the last couple of weeks at a one polymaker that I sent the form to, and they haven't got their polymaker or an email back from polymaker. I don't know why that happened, but after the stream, I'll check with Sean and I'll try to figure out what's happening. If he can back up the last 2 or 3 weeks to see if the forms got sent out, because I fill them out on Discord every week right after my stream, like clockwork.
Yeah, Sean only took 2 days to get back to me, so I'm not sure why he wouldn't get back to everybody else unless there was an issue with the form.
Yeah, on my end, I always fill out every week. I put down my partner number, my name, 3DHP, how many people won, what week, what that person's name was, and then I have another form I copy and paste and I email to the winner, and then they fill it out, and then it goes from there. Let's share a screen here. And we're going to be doing Ziltech. It's for the lower 48. Ziltech.com out of Houston, Texas. They sell tons of extrusion. If you want to build a custom printer, they will custom cut extrusion for your needs. They only ship to USA, but if your order was big enough, they would ship to Canada. They sell filament, and they started producing some of their filament here in the U.S. now. They have big tree tech boards. They have a little bit of anything and everything on their website at Ziltech.com. So we're going to draw for one person. Once we have a winner that has to have a USA address, and you got to be present to win. I'll put my email in chat. Copy down the email. If you're the winner, go to Ziltech.com. Tell me what type of filament, whether it's black, blue, red, tricolor, dual color, with your USA mailing address, and I will forward that to my rep. And then as soon as they're back up and running, they will get that mailed out. So we got 19 people entered. Let me turn off my banner. And here we go, everybody, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm the only one that said it. Here we go.
Hey, only one needs to do the countdown, not everyone.
Yeah. What he said.
Almighty Malachi. Congrats, Almighty Malachi. Are you in chat? You have won, and are you in the U.S.?
Yeah, Malachi, I think I saw him several times at Loyal.
Yeah,
so yeah, he watches Loyal Moses. I know him. He won several times on Loyal Moses.
Awesome. He's on Twitch. Very cool. Okay, here's my email.
These ones from Loyals guys. Hey, congratulations!
Please get back with me today. Go to Ziltech.com.
Hey, tell me if you can hear this background noise now.
Yeah, I can hear background noise. A lot of it.
It's real low. I can hear a fan, and I'm not wearing headphones.
No, it's a lot better now.
A lot better? Okay.
It's fine.
Cool. I don't need it on. I was just making sure things were set up.
Yeah, it's really low. It's not disturbing. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Malachi. He's a lucky guy too. He wins a lot. He keeps watching the show.
Can't win if you don't enter.
Exactly. Isn't it?
I know back when I entered things, it took me a couple of years to eventually win something, but I eventually did. It's pretty rare, but it's nice. You have a smaller stream, you have better odds.
Yeah.
Hey, did you know everybody in life at least won once in their lifetime?
My son is real lucky at gambling thing, video poker. He's very lucky at video poker.
Can anybody answer that question?
Did I just hear video poker? Because I just came back.
Hey, right. Hold on, Pam. Yeah, I said my son is very lucky at winning at video poker here in Vegas. He likes to gamble, and he wins more than he loses.
I lost my ass on that one. I had one.
I try not to gamble.
Yeah,
and if you're watching on Twitch, you can do a bang drop that you're watching on Twitch.
On Patrick, on my 9 key, the only thing that's not working, everything else works perfect, but my start key, I still can't get it to work. You think that's
Montana Maker got it. I think
probably just the programming, maybe.
try to reset it again. The macro.
It's been so long since I did that, I can't even remember.
Correct, Montana. Correct. I got your message.
Hey Scott, any tips for printing with this PA612 carbon fiber?
What's that?
Any tips for printing with the PA612, the CF?
I haven't printed with the PA612, so I couldn't tell you.
Not yet. All right.
Yeah, I just got it yesterday, and I haven't got it out of the box yet. I'm printing 4 more PPS test pieces, and then I'll be switching to probably the PA12 carbon fiber because it's already loaded in a dry box.
My favorite warning. Apparently, this filament causes cancer in California.
Yeah,
everything causes cancer.
I'll say it right here and right now. I am so glad. I'm born and raised. I'm so glad I left that pussy-fied state.
Hey, you know, even if you have the most healthiest life you ever have, you breathe the most cleanest air, everything perfect around your environment, right?
Everybody dies of cancer.
What I'm saying, not everybody dies of cancer. Not a lot of people die of natural
in America
causes.
They do.
Well,
you get in a car wreck, you die of cancer.
Well, that's a little bit different. But you know, it develops on the genes, you know, genetics and all that background. You know, you can develop it through your, because some certain stuff is passed on, you know. So that's all.
Like hereditary. So like,
yeah.
I hear you, man. It's genetics. So, but what's genetic? It's not necessarily blood. It's also brain. It's how you're trained.
Why does the doctor ask you about your family history, right?
Oh, you're talking different areas. USA is not like Europe and stuff like that. Like we're on different levels of mental health.
Hey, same over here.
Everything you buy at the store in America has so much other garbage in it to try to, what do you call it? I can't even think of
preservatives.
Preservatives and crap that
preservatives, yes.
Preservatives, emulsifiers, colors, flavors. It's all artificial.
But it's sometimes necessary, you know. Because the natural. Look how we preserved food 100 years ago, or even further than that, and then compare it to now. Of course, we add certain chemicals inside, and they last, let's say, longer. But like sauerkraut, we basically fermented it, and then you know, I don't know the exact process to make sauerkraut, but that's a way of preserving it. And sauerkraut, literally, they've been in Japan. They eat sauerkraut, what is over 100 years old. It's called kimchi. You know,
it's like Twinkies; they last forever too. Have you seen Zombieland?
Like, but like one's got a chemical preservative in it to like where Matt's talking about. It's got a natural fermentation or whatever's going on.
If air gets to the sauerkraut, you will have moldy stuff growing on top.
But that's where they're like, oh, hey, you can have this McDonald's hamburger that's lasted over like 65 years preserved or something, like with air.
I got sauerkraut in my fridge.
Is there a dome over it? No dome over it.
I don't believe it had a dome over it last I saw, but that they were like just handling it,
Yeah, but the thing is, they could have sprayed something on it like lacquer or similar other products. So
no, it's like, think about like a Slim Jim, right? Like if you took a Slim Jim out and kept the Slim Jim out, it probably wouldn't rot. It would just further. All salt. It's all like salt and preservatives already, right?
Yeah, salt is a natural preservative, but the thing why it's kind of like a form of salami, I think. What you call it? Slim Jim. But
yeah, well, so like, but that would eventually like it wouldn't rot, but it would mold, and you could just cut the mold off and technically eat it, right?
Yes, just like with cheese.
If it's cheese, you can cut off mold and eat it fine. But if there's mold on my bread, I throw it away.
But there's a technique to wash before you cut it off, because it has the stuff around it. You wash it, dry it, and then cut it. Because
this is where like they're changing everything. Like they're changing the way that food is made, and well, so yeah, sure, but like, okay, so like when I went over to France, I was like, oh, bread, oh my god, bread, like,
hey,
like real bread, real bread, you know, it's not just like white chemicals, literally like white bread here.
Maybe a day.
There's both my Pascals right there on my fiber laser.
Yeah, but our white bread is not white bread. If you go out and get real bread, like you said, it's done in 2 or 3 days because that's what it's made to last for.
Yeah, I've got a little local grocery store here about it's less than a half a mile from me, and they have a deli in there and a bakery in there, and everything is scratch made, and you go in there in the morning and get the bread when it's fresh, and it's the best bread you'll ever have. But you're right. You've got about 36 to 48 hours to get it used up, or you're going to start making penicillin with it.
Yeah. Well, then, you know, like you make penicillin, or what else would you make? 2-3 days, you're going to get your croutons, you're going to get your banana, your bread pudding.
French toast. Yes.
You know, French toast. So this is where people are like, oh, my food's rotting. What can I turn it into? Chili, you know, like what to get your meat.
If you want your bread to last longer, throw it in the fridge. Don't leave it out on the counter.
Hey, you can't have any pudding if you eat your meat. How can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat?
Or freeze it, yeah. I buy multiple loaves of bread and then I freeze it and I pull them out when I need them.
Also, but like, so what did they used to do? You know, like I know they had like ice bricks and whatnot, but wasn't meat buried like?
No.
At one point, like deep, like to keep it cool, or am I wrong?
No, you're wrong.
Preserve it about the cave, I think.
Canines do it. So,
but like other than that though, like they used salts and pickling spices and stuff like that to smoke it.
Salt.
Yeah, perfect example. The Americans with the buffalo. You know, the Native Americans. You know, I mean, that basically went hunting but they only killed what they need. You know. And then they had a big feast mostly, and then the women and everybody would prepare the meat and smoke it and salt it, and you know.
Everything's gone, at least here, like mostly like GMO for the last like 10 years, you know, like everything's just like switched. And so like, well, what's GMO? GMO is anything that's pretty much like synthesized, broken down and synthesized. It's just GMO. And so what happens when, you know, like, I just saw a video on you know, meat being synthesized. Like what's meat? Protein broken down synthetically and then put into like you're talking about, not having air being introduced. So like if it's in just a vacuum compartment without air and it's being in its environment to grow meat.
Yeah.
Without a soul, without bones or anything like that, and it can feed us with the nutrients and stuff that we would get.
Yeah, but
is that bad? Like, is it, you know, like, should we be eating things with souls? Like the other day, like my missus was arguing with me because she was like, you know, like as humans and souls, like we consume that because they're here for us to consume, and I'm like.
I agree with you on that point, but
we're getting like too many people, you know?
I think what you just said, right, with the genetic meat, we call it, there is yes and it's no, right? If we go on a journey, like let's say space travel, we do need to do that. We do need protein. We can't just all live on
you said space travel,
vegetables,
you know? Queue up Rocket Man.
Hey, Hey, look what's happening now. I mean, are they not going to the moon and planning to build a moon base?
Are we not doing that now though? Like on an extra.
Yeah,
oh my god, I can't get out of the word out of my mouth. But we're
right now, as far as I know,
we're growing at an exponential rate as far as humans go, and so like at some point, like what happens when we don't have any more? I want to say oxes, but like the buffalo. Like what happens if cows become buffalo, and we're over here like meat?
Cows are
Where do we get our meat? Yeah, but in the prevalence of like us consuming so much because there's so much humans to the point where we overconsume cattle to the point where they're decimated, right? So
you ever remember the story of the cricket who basically was what was the story exactly? He basically played all year round in the summertime, yet the ants were collecting the
I got to interrupt for a minute. Almighty Malachi, if you're still watching, I need your mailing address. I have your email, but I don't have your mailing address.
Like going back to the story, right? You probably read the story or watched it on as a child on TV. I remember there being a cricket, and the cricket was foolish, was basically doing nothing, basically wasting time, and the ants were basically running around everywhere collecting food and storing it in their burrow, right? And then winter came, and the cricket was looking around for food. There was nothing to eat because of winter, and of course, the ants. Long story short, the ants give him sanctuary, fed him, and so on.
Okay. I got a question for
lesson.
Patrick while he's here. That RF laser that's coming from Haotian has a built-in fan, like most Chinese lasers have a built-in fan. Before I automatically take it out, I'm going to try to run it in conjunction with my big fan I got mounted on the wall, and I don't think it's going to over rev it. I think they should work together fine, possibly. What do you think?
It just depends on how much airflow that stock fan that's inside the machine is rated for.
Yeah. Well, I was going to try it without it, but since I've already got my existing setup in my laser room with a 4-inch going out the wall, it's probably going to have a 6-inch duct on the RF laser. At least in the picture, it looks pretty big. I'm going to just reduce that down to 4-inch, tie into it with another wastegate, and then depending on which I'm using, the fiber, the rolly, or which I just open whichever gate up, and I'm going to try to run in conjunction. But there'll be no way for me to know whether it is over revving it or working properly, other than I can see how much it's exhausting when I burn something.
Right. I think
it's like having
probably the one thing.
Go ahead.
Yeah, if it happens to overpower it, you got to think that it could end up pushing the exhaust out of your other vents. Even if you have your blast gates closed, if there's any leakage around those, you could be blowing that back into your house. I normally just rely on the one that's closest to the exit and disconnect the other fans.
Because I know on the Thunderbolt that they came out with, they took out that stock fan that came with most Chinese lasers, and they had the other big one mounted inside the unit. I can't think of the brand name, but you know the kind I'm talking about?
Yeah, the Thunder laser.
Yeah, I'm talking about the big exhaust fan.
Ouch. Can please someone mute himself?
Kenny, what brand is your exhaust fan?
have something going.
Yeah.
Can we mute somebody, please?
AC Infinity. Yeah, Patrick. Yeah, that's Kenny's laser. I think we're hearing this microphone.
I'm looking for him.
Okay, I moved away from it. I'm trying to get a camera to work.
Okay. Yeah, the AC Infinity, that style is what comes in the Thunder lasers. It appears to be that style, where this one it looks like a normal style fan. I don't know until I get it and look at it, but I'm going to try to run them together and see how it works. It's kind of like the Rolly. I took mine out of the Rolly, but for a while I was running both of them. I would let it run with AC Infinity pulling also until I finally just disconnected it and I took it out.
Yeah, like I think what I showed you that video of the other day. There's my 8-inch duct that goes through my homemade garage door window. It's acrylic, so I cut the 8-inch opening out of the acrylic and then put it in.
I got it. Thank you.
Then that runs all the way over to that 8-inch centrifugal fan.
Okay.
And then that branches into an 8 to 2x6 Y. And then with this long run that runs the length of the garage back down to my gantry, if I would have had a fan there, I'm sure it would start wanting to push air out through any leaks in any of those Y connectors.
Yeah. So you got the one fan pulling everything, right? You just had wastegates.
Yeah. Like I now have kind of looks like tentacles from the Matrix coming down.
Okay.
Oh, Matrix.
Yeah. 4 drops, and each one has its own blast gate. So 4 drops there, and then 4 drops on this counter.
And
Yeah,
you can make a Raleigh the robot. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger, Will Robinson.
Yeah, I have enough tube. I checked my black hose, what I have left over. Because originally it's like 25 or 30 feet, and I got plenty of it compressed. So I just have to do a little rearranging.
I ended up ordering new to do most of these runs that were dropping down from the ceiling because I didn't want all that dust just raining down inside the garage.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are you going to periodically clean that out or just let it go?
I wouldn't clean it out. I would just replace the ductwork because I don't want to mess with all that nasty dust.
Yeah.
And it's not expensive to buy that AC Infinity ductwork. It's the dual layer and
yeah. Because I wonder what I was going to do when it came time. Thanks. What the hell is he doing now?
I don't have an opinion on that. I haven't tried either one of them.
I'm building a build plate. I'm putting the insulation on it.
Oh, okay.
What printer?
Eldon Neptune 4 mouse.
Voron 2.4 right here.
So, guys, you guys are more smart than I am. On external...
No, that's not true.
Yeah, it's very true.
Yeah.
On external heat beds that have, you know, the external gauge and everything to turn it on and get it to temp. Are those controllable by the board primarily or just externally?
Sorry, for the beds?
Yeah, like, you know, like some like on my CR, I ask primarily because I can upgrade my CR10S5, which is a 500 by 500, and it only has a 300 by 300 build underneath it for the heater. So
for those, you can use. I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't know why Creality did that, but it's horrible.
Take it off, Patrick.
Yeah.
Have a good
Sorry,
one,
Tor. Didn't mean
Have
to
a good one,
interrupt you.
Patrick.
Yeah, I got to run. Go get some dinner with the family before live stream tonight. But
so you're going to be on a 4 hour. You guys are going to be on a 4 hours, right?
Correct.
Am I invited today or no?
I have no idea what's going on.
Okay, I'll wait and I'll see the banner. If I'm on the banner,
see what Rich does.
Yeah, no, it's no worries. It's fine.
All right. Hey guys,
take care.
have a
good
one.
one.
See you later.
Oh, good. But yeah, Josh, for the stock bed, it's a DC bed. For like the beds on like the Vorons and say like Canovo heaters and things like that, most of those are going to be AC beds. So you would need an SSR to control it via the printer's output.
Hey, Phoenix.
And that's running off like 120 volts, and if you're in the US, or 220 in Europe and other places.
But that again, I probably won't be able to get it programmed to control it, but like for the most part, like you can do that, right? Like you can get it to
it's actually
to
not
warm
that hard.
up.
It pretty much
otherwise it's just an external box that you're like, okay, I'm going to turn it on and I'm going to put it at 80, and when I turn it off, I turn it off.
Yeah, like Canovo have external control boxes that you can use, but it's not too hard to set up a SSR to control it via the bed output. Like that's how I have on my Voron Trident, I have the bed as well as a chamber heater, both controlled by separate SSRs. And those
Is that
are 120 volts.
The SSR help me with that? Is that
it's pretty
like
much
the small breakout board that?
Yeah, it's pretty much
Oh,
an
hold on.
external.
Right here's one.
Oh, you have one on hand?
Is that
But yeah.
helps the PSU though, like
It
change
takes it from
voltages or?
Here's an SSR. This is a 120 volt, 250 volt SSR.
So you
That's
take
chunky.
mains power
Yeah, okay.
and the signal from like the bed output for the most part.
And we have somebody popping in.
So is that like a
Phoenix coming in?
And then
Hey,
you have
Phoenix.
positive, negative signal here, and
Hey,
it's
guys.
basically a relay that turns off and on. It's a solid state relay.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, when I built my Hypercube, that's all I got off Amazon. Tim with TH3D was talking about a certain type and brand that were garbage and they weren't properly built. So he done a video where he took one apart and he showed the guts inside of it. And then I bought mine from TH3D, and Tim showed me how to wire it properly on my Hypercube. He sent me a diagram.
So is this similar to like what I might already have attached to my hot end or my hotbed to?
So,
or is that like something else?
It's a fuse.
What printer?
Okay, I hear you. I hear you.
He has a CR10S5, but it takes the same output from the bed, goes into the SSR, and then you take mains power. One leg goes to the bed, one leg goes to the SSR, and you take the other output and connect that to the negative of the mains power, and then you ground it all as well.
I hear you. To a degree. So, but that's where I said like I'm like 70% with you. Trying to find the other part that I'm talking about, just so that we can maybe give me a little more clarification.
Yeah, they're not too hard to set up. It's just you have to be safe about it, and you want to make sure nothing. It's AC voltage you're playing with, so you want to be.
Yeah, you're playing with mains voltage. You can electrocute yourself, and you can burn your house down real easily.
That's where like I don't tread. Again, I'm talking to the professionals over here.
As long as you only touch the white wire, you're fine. If you touch the white wire and the black wire at the same time on opposite sides of your body, you're putting that AC right through your heart and through your core.
We've all seen Home Alone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been dead on 110 quite a bit, and it don't feel good.
No, I'm a 5 volt. I get scared with 5 volts, so.
I'm good under 24.
Is a professional about it, though.
I'm good under 24. Yeah, usually when I put up electricity, I make sure the electricity is off.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not hard to set up. It's just that you want to be sure of all your connections.
So what you been up to, Jared?
You wire everything up, Josh. You get it done with the power turned off. You call your wife in the room to flip the switch while you stand in the doorway.
Like, give her the broom or a bat or something.
We've prayed to Jesus. Printer Jesus has been prayed to.
Just have her whack you off the line, yeah.
That's what a
I've met Josh's wife and had dinner with them. I don't think I would want to do that. She would hurt him.
Josh, just remember, a voltmeter is your friend.
Yeah. So yeah, you just take in the signal from the bed. Your line would go to either side of the output on the SSR, and then you connect the other line from your heater to the ground, or not the ground, the neutral.
Damn it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's not that you can't have it creep over the 300, but when they're selling you a 500 by 500 bed and you're like, oh wow, this is, and you can get them a dime a dozen these. I had a wholesaler that tried to sell me $100 each, and I was just like,
that's not bad.
Okay, it was like, oh, the more you buy, it'll go down. Like they got me at like $50 each, and I was just like, I can't take 200 of these in at like it was just stupid.
I have the CR10S4, and it would on the stock bed it barely got up to 60 degrees. So
and it
I
takes
understand.
forever.
Yep. If I wanted over 60 degrees, I'd have to get it up to like 55. Up it a couple degrees, wait a couple minutes for it to level out.
Go old school. I just put the blue 2090 down and try not to do anything other than PLA on it.
So what you been up to, Matt?
I'm working on some calculations right now, so
math.
What are you trying to calculate?
Yeah.
Hey, Phoenix,
it's kind of like a hobby, a project I have, for just to waste a little bit of time for myself. But
I got projects. If you're wasting time, I can keep you busy.
Well, I'm not wasting time.
What do you
It's complicated,
I've got something I've got free time.
I do sometimes feel like the the bunny in Alice in Wonderland. You know what I mean?
We got
the time. What he always says,
Got some numbers we can throw you. You can calculate them.
Yeah, but depends on what it is. If the answers are already out there, why I should calculate them?
Chalkboard. Are we doing a calculus problem?
No, maybe all of it.
I thought that's what ChatGTP was for, was mathing.
Oh, I don't trust
They flipped a switch about a month ago that I'm like,
computer still can make a mistake, because we trained the computer, because always somebody can put in the wrong information or give malicious information into.
For me, if it's critical, especially if it's mission critical, I'll get out a pen and paper.
Yeah, but when you're throwing it...
When I was a kid, I was like 18, I was being stupid. I put a super coil, big yellow coil, on a car I was working on. I couldn't get the engine to fire, so I grounded it with a screwdriver, told my buddy to ground this to metal and let me crank it real quick. I shouldn't have done that because I threw him up against the wall and it scared the hell out of him.
Here, do this real quick. What's it going to do? I don't know.
So, Jerry, when I was much younger and probably smarter than I am now, we had a gentleman that worked out there at the farm for my dad in the shop, and he was kind of a janitor. I mean, he washed trucks and combines and did grease jobs and stuff like that. But his claim to fame was he would just walk up and grab spark plug wires and tell you that if the cylinder was firing or not. Dad and Leland had one of them old 2-cylinder Johnny Poppers in the shop there that had the magneto on it. So they got Wayne to sit up there in the seat and hold the magneto wire. So his ass was grounded to that steel seat real good on that. And there was no spark plugs in that engine. Dad grabbed that flywheel and gave it a big spin. And every time it would hit, he'd bounce about that far off the seat and yell. He never grabbed another spark plug wire.
It's a skill to have, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's sad but funny at the same time.
Magneto will hit you harder than any coil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a respectful job to have.
Oh, my dad's a lineman, and
I'm sorry. Is he still alive?
Oh, that's what I was about to say. Like, I think he's jokes that he's a cat, and he's on his like 7th life. Like it might be his 8th and a half. So like, this last year has been a very rough year, and we're blessed to still have him. But yeah, lineman stories were scary.
Yeah. The scariest thing I saw on YouTube was the lineman was testing the ground line. Those big ass electric poles.
And shot him 20 feet.
No, the lineman was harnessed into the cable line. Okay. And the helicopter comes back, and I'm guessing it's kicking off enough static electricity that the bolt hit his safety line, snapped the safety line, and the guy in the helicopter jumped out of the helicopter to grab him before he fell.
Hey, Blasto, how you doing?
Blasto.
And I'm thinking, why the hell would you jump out of a helicopter to grab a guy?
I knew a kid when I was a kid that took a rock and some fishing line, threw it over the high power lines in the alley behind his house, tied a lasso on it, pulled the lines together, which they instantly wrap around each other. Transformer blows up, shut out power in the whole neighborhood for quite a while.
That's back. That's back when?
Long time ago, when I was about 15, 14 or 15 years
back
old.
when that took like 2 months to fix rather than 2 weeks.
It was fixed overnight. But,
the funniest story I have is my brother is in an upright pool. Okay, just as he gets out of the pool, the transmission lines that run between the poles.
Stop licking.
A bird landed on it and touched the two poles together.
No licking.
Poof.
And the bird went. Yeah, the bird went poof. Okay. But the power line, we had an oak tree that's probably about 20, 30 yards from the house. Gets sliced in half with the little, what was left of the power line.
Yeah.
Okay. So the power line, the power breakers blew on everything. So you just have this little line that's dangling, that's going back and forth live. Okay.
That shit is no joke. Sorry to.
No, the policemen come in, they come into our backyard, and they see the power line dangling. Okay? The cop immediately walks out of the backyard.
Nope.
No, he walked out of the backyard. His sergeant, who comes with him, turns around and goes, "Don't worry about it. It's not going to kill you. Go back there and make sure it's not touching anything." Okay? The officer looks him straight in the face and goes, the officer looks him straight in the face and goes,
You go back there.
Has anybody ever had a package coming from UPS where it said it was getting delivered today by 4:30, but when you're looking right below that, it says on the way, and the box that says out for delivery is not checked? Have you ever got a delivery?
All the time.
I have tickets about that all the time.
Okay, so then possibly it will be here by 4:30. Because it don't
It
say
ain't
out
going to be there today, Jerry.
Oh, it won't be? Okay.
Most likely
I'm going to say probably not. It's probably not even on a truck for delivery.
Yeah, well, it doesn't say it's out for delivery, but it does say it's coming today. And
But sorry.
Typically, if it doesn't say out for delivery, it don't show up. It'll be Monday, I guess. I don't think they deliver tomorrow.
They do here. UPS delivers 7 days a week here where I live.
Okay, and they probably do here too. I know USPS does.
You know, your question, what you said about the electric wire, it depends on the surroundings or environment you're in. So if the power cable drops on like concrete floor, right, and it's dry, you should be fine most of the time, as long as you don't touch it. But if it touches any type of biological matter, because biological matter does have water in it, it can transfer quite a few distance. So,
well, sure, like you just if it's moist, right?
Yeah, of course. If the power drops like on the instant on grass, so and you step on the grass, that would electrocute them. Because you don't play around with things like that.
It's scary. That's I said like I was doing like 5-volt stuff and like I'm gonna kill myself with 5 volts and everyone's like you're fine. Stop worrying about it.
Okay, 5 volt can kill. You need to amplify it.
It's about the amperage.
To create a charge, don't you?
Yeah, volts won't hurt you. Amps do.
Yeah, you just need to save it, and then release it like similar to a phaser.
What holds a charge after it's been powered down?
A capacitor?
Battery.
Yeah, I grabbed a capacitor once, and I don't know what happened. I just said, I'm alive! Wow!
I grew up on a farm where we had small engines on everything, you did not touch a capacitor laying on a bench because there was a pretty good chance somebody had it charged up, and they'll hold a charge for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you see a capacitor laying on a bench, you just let it be.
That's the only way you test a 9-volt battery, and I've done it to this day. I put it on my tongue and see if it's dead or not.
Oh,
no,
hell
you
no.
need to get a nose ring and go.
Yeah, that's the only way you check them.
That's Jerry. That's a quick way to end your existence.
It will not hurt you. I've done it my whole life.
9-volt
You get a 9-volt battery, test on your tongue to see if it'll zap. If they don't have a charge, it was dead, throw it in the garbage. Yeah, everybody's done that. Everybody I've ever known has done that.
Yeah, but I don't like the taste of 9-volt batteries.
In high school,
I don't mind so much the shock. I do mind the taste of it. It's
I'm sure there's someone out there, Matt, that loves both.
They have a strange electrolytic taste to them.
Some humans are pretty weird.
This tastes so good. Oh, it feels even better.
People, it is
if
highly
you got any
dangerous.
feelings in your mouth, put some tinfoil in it and chomp down on it. See what happens.
Hey, this is one of the #1 causes when children get a hold on especially button batteries.
They swallow them.
Swallow it. If they swallow it, you only have like half an hour time to get them to hospital to literally take the stuff out before otherwise internal damage happens to the body. Same thing is when you shove it in the nose, ears, or whatever, because it is moisture. What is the problem?
Yeah.
And in the stomach happens quicker as in the nose and ears, but still, it's just a matter of time, and you don't have a lot of it.
In high school, my shop teacher, my shop teacher would charge up a capacitor, show it to everybody who's paying attention, and if anybody was asleep, there was a metal strip and all the desks that connected, and he would just tap it. You would wake up then.
Yeah. So I used to, there was an experiment with hamsters, right? You probably have seen, like, in The Simpsons, they have just talked about it, where you see, who was it did the experiment? Lisa, yes. Or was it, but I'm not sure right now. It was a long time ago since I've seen it. But there was a hamster in it. And every time he pressed a button, he would get released food, right? So the hamster learned how to use that button. And every time he got some food. So after a while, let's say a month or two, you switch it out, same button, but instead of you introduce the voltage of, a battery. And then the hamster would press that button and would get electrocuted.
Come here.
Right?
I figured
the hamster will stop for a while, but the hunger will be so great that the hamster will press the button just to get to the food. Even so, it will hurt him.
Come here. Doggy. I figured Blastus got his name, Blastus Supreme. He had a bad experience at Taco Bell, and the name stuck. But, anyway.
The pain can always feel yummy, in some ways.
Well, when you're hungry, depending on what you're hungry for,
Exactly. Sometimes, what is worse, the pain or the hunger pain?
Ladies and gentlemen, Dick
depends on your tolerance.
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Pain is a hell of a lot worse
depends on your tolerance or stupidity.
Kenny, this is the man I was talking
try
about
with you if you want.
I thought it was
if you volunteer.
You guys are talking about voltage and amps because I'm an electrical engineer. At first, I was a journeyman. So when you were getting a shock, you'll start shock at 90 volts. You can start feeling it at 90 volts. But if you've got 1 milliamp, you'll definitely feel it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Dixon, you're not in your rocking chair in the house. What's going on?
I'm in the garage. I'm making stuff on the grill, hamburgers on the grill.
Oh, cool.
All right, what time are they going to be ready?
I thought your wife bent you to the garage,
Yeah, I was talking to Kenny this morning, Dixon.
I get sometimes.
I had a man I had on my stream that whenever he bought a new product, if he couldn't pay it off in a couple of weeks, he wouldn't buy it. And you're the person I was talking about, but I don't remember the whole backstory on, a lot of things that you've done in the past in your business.
Yeah, I turned 63 in January, so I retired. So I shut down my Hoffman & Size Decals 3D printing website, and I had around 25 printers, and I sold them all but 5, 6 of them. Because now I'm just using it for all fun stuff. My laser, my CNC, and my 3D printer, I'm only using for all my hobbies.
Yeah.
But
Hey,
I never bought. I never bought a 3D printer. It had to pay for itself in a couple weeks, and that was pretty easy. Like if I bought 3 of them at once, then Q5 printers I bought they all paid themselves with one PO.
Grill Cam.
Sorry.
I don't have
Hey,
a camera
Jerry,
on you.
put me
Grill
backstage.
Cam, what are you cooking?
I don't have the camera on you. There you go. Bye.
Jerry, you mind
What?
putting me backstage? Put
Oh,
me
is she my
backstage for a
boo-boo?
second.
Oh, she's a boo-boo.
Oh, hold on. All right.
Okay.
Is that what you wanted? You wanted to be off camera? Yeah, give me a thumbs up if that's what you wanted. All right.
Yum.
Ooh.
Yeah, we had ribeyes the other day, so today's hamburgers.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
And we used to do that. I used to do that all the time down at work. Is charge up capacitors. You can get hammered really good off of a capacitor. It can sit there for years, and you can get hammered off of it. It's going to hold a charge until it gets grounded out or shorted out somehow. There are transformers. We put circuits on some transformers so that they slowly discharge real fast, so you can't get killed with it.
That thing hammered me, man. Woo.
You'll get a good jolt.
They've always said don't put a car battery on concrete; it'll discharge. Set on a block of wood. But I think if the battery's not leaking, I don't think it's going to discharge. But I always do set them on wood.
That's a myth. The only reason why you want to set them on wood is because if, like here in Wisconsin, if you got them on the floor and it's real cold, it'll sort of damage the battery. You want to keep them cells at a certain temperature. That's why when they get cool, they cool down, get to a certain temperature, cool, they can wreck the battery. That's why you never want them to discharge. I'm talking lead acid now. That's why you never want them to discharge below 50%, because then you can damage cells.
Wow.
And if you let them on a concrete floor in the garage, like here, right here, and not put them on a piece of wood, well, it doesn't help to have them that real cold floor seeping in.
Give me a thumbs up if you want back on camera.
I have a question for you.
Sure, Matt. What's up?
Like you said, if it drops below 50% and the cells get damaged, is there any way to repair the cell damage?
There you are.
Lead acid?
It depends how much it gets damaged. See, now you have all these smart chargers, so it watches for that on lead acid batteries. Like in a boat, you can put 4 of them in series, and you can put 2 chargers for 2 batteries, and the smart chargers really monitor that so you don't get below that.
That's pretty cool, but it didn't solve the problem of the cell problem.
Hoffman,
I mean,
I have a question.
Can't you just
pull the lead anodes out and then clean the lead anodes and then put it back in and put a new electrolyte?
Oh, they have bigger batteries that they repair them like for forklifts and that, but it's not feasible to repair a car battery. They just
can't take it apart.
Yeah, they're sealed. Most of them now are sealed lead acid. Yeah. But that's why
even if they're a sealed car battery, you can still pop off a top plate and make sure the distilled water is topped off. Because living in a hot climate still may run down a little bit. They usually don't in Vegas, but you still can check them.
Right.
Like
and we have, like, our forklift has all these lead acid, not forklift, our high reach has all these lead acid batteries wired in series parallel, and you can still pop the cover off. When we used to do a PM on it, you pop all the covers off and you make sure they're totally topped off. And we use CO water. We don't use regular distilled water.
Okay. Can I? Okay. It's still all what you guys say. I think is pretty good, and those are solutions, yes. But it's like I said, the solution to fix the cell is a problem, right? And what I have my idea, right, is that what is called metal plating, right?
Nickel?
The same time metal plating. If you use this technology and integrate it into the cell system, because we have to put water anyway inside, what needs to be what's it called? There's a word for it. It's not regular water. You can't just take water out of the thing because.
You can add battery acid. Yeah.
Yeah, but then in the acid itself, you have the byproduct what you have in the metal plating. So let's say
what you're saying.
Hey, Hoffman, I have a question.
It is possible to do that, but it depends if you're playing around as just for fun. It's not feasible to try to repair one cell because even if you could possibly pop the cover off, which you could, take the top off, and there's all the cells floating, or they're immersed in that chemical and stuff. You try to replace one of them. Now you got one good cell, and the rest of them are old.
No.
Well, isn't it just advisable just to pull all the cells?
The thing is, cells are still packed in cells, right? There's a cell in a cell and so on. So if you put a divider in between that cell and that cell so the liquid doesn't come to that cell and the computer detects, oh, the cell is deteriorating, I better start up the machine with electroplating, and then it would repair the electrocells because it still have some kind of structure, right? Because it is a deterioration of the structure. So in the beginning, it probably would have only minor structure problems. Unless you come to a certain point in time where, let's say, you charge the battery up to down to 20%, right? So even more damage is happening. Unless it's very severe, that's the only time I don't think it will be able to work.
Yeah, in theory, what you're saying, yes, you can. But are you going to take the chance of getting blown up playing all these games, and if, for one thing, it's not feasible, you're better off going and taking $100 and buying a new battery. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but if I pay $100 for this battery, right, and you pay $100 for the other battery, right, but this battery comes with this technology.
Matt, have you ever worked on any car batteries? Have you ever worked on any car to take them apart?
Yes, I did.
Dixon?
But not around. I read up on it,
medium.
Okay.
I was reading.
All right, let's not talk about car batteries no more.
Okay, it's like 3D printing, Matt. So many guys came up to me, people at work here. Hey, can you print this for me? So I said to him, I says, I would, but you can buy 6 of them for $1 at Walmart. Why would he even bother catting it up or 3D printing it?
Yeah, but again, the duration of the battery, how long it will last, a lifetime.
Yeah, there's a lot of variables.
What I'm saying with this type of technology, it should be able to extend the battery 20 or even longer.
Most car batteries last 3 years in Las Vegas. End of story.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's because you're in what?
That's old technology, I think.
Most days.
But I think if we use different types of technology and then combine them, we can create something better.
All right.
Hey, Dixon, I have a question for you.
I mean,
sure,
the first
go ahead.
3D printers.
Okay, so I've got a engineering project that's using a compressor to spin an alternator.
Okay, guys, I'll see you guys later. I'll be right back.
Okay. My question to you is, do I have to put a regulator on the capacitors to charge?
You run a compressor off an alternator?
No, I'm using compressed air to spin an alternator's fan blades.
Oh, yeah, yep. I see what you're saying.
Okay. I want to use capacitors as the power storage unit.
Yeah.
Okay, do I need to put something between the alternator and the capacitors to keep the voltage level?
Well, they have voltage regulators in them. You said alternator, right?
Well, it's not so much an alternator as it is a wind-powered DC motor.
I see what you're doing. Yeah. You're wind powering it. I never experimented with that. I never ran it off an air, an alternator or a generator. I never ran it off a compressed air.
I think we should do a Polymaker giveaway, guys.
It's
giveaway roll of filament, and after the stream, I will follow up because I have a couple people that I guess haven't received their
first winner's void because it'll be Matt German, and he's not even here.
Royal Nomi, hey, how you doing? So anybody that would like a chance to win, anywhere they deliver in the world, you have a chance of winning a roll of filament. You must be present to win. Just do hashtag Polymaker in chat, and you'll have a chance. We'll do a spin here in just a second. We got 25 entries, 27 entries. And when you win, you say, hi in chat, I'm here. I'll give you my email address. All you have to do is email me sometime today, and I will send you the form later on today that you fill out with Polymaker. And like I say, 2 people have not received their filament. I don't know why, but I'll find out why. Anyway, 30 people have entered. You guys want to help me do a countdown from 5? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
Oh!
Congrats,
Sweet.
Josh. You just entered a minute ago. Awesome.
Matt was just saying how everybody wins at least once.
Here's my email in chat. Just shoot me an email, Josh, and I will get you the form tonight.
Sounds
Congratulations.
Good, man. Appreciate
write
you.
That down.
You have
no
suggestions, or can I just hardwire it directly into the capacitors?
I would Google it or watch YouTube videos and see what you can find.
Yeah, I don't know what you're trying to do specifically, so I'm not going to give you any.
So what I'm trying to create is a compressive design for a power unit at 5 volts. So it's self-contained. So I'm using a one-way pump to compress the air through the compressor, through the hose line to power through the DC motor to create a constant 5 volts.
Doing, but the answer is you're just why? You're just playing around, right? Like a hobby. You're just.
Well, so I built a Peltier-driven AC machine.
Yeah.
And it uses 24 volts. So I've got an inverter that jumps 5 volts to 12, from 12 to 24 to power the unit. And so instead of having to use power packs all the time, I want to be able to create a system that I can just plug into the wall that will power the compressor that keeps the unit cold.
Let me say something real quick. Royal Nomi, I just found out earlier that my winner from last week and the prior week, once they sent out the form that I gave them, they have not received an email back from Polymaker. So I'm not sure why. I'll have to check on Discord later, see why the Polymaker hasn't got back with them and sent them a link. But you're saying 3 or 4 weeks till anybody even got back with them? Because usually it's been fairly quick.
So I'm thinking they're using the capacitor sort of like a battery.
In that situation, capacitors I usually use like they use in a garage door opener or to boost power on startup. That's why some motors have centrifugal switches on them, and other motors will start up. They got 2 windings. The capacitors will dump their current into to get it running, and then it goes in a start mode, and then it goes into run mode. But I'd have to see specific what you're drawing, your prints, or what your wiring diagram and that.
Okay, thank you, Royal Nomi.
Oh, okay. No, I'm just thinking that there's a simple solution that I just buy something and plug it into the circuit pattern.
Tim, what's going on?
Hey, how's everybody doing? Why is there an echo?
I don't know.
Or is it just me? It's probably just me.
Just
Hold your finger in one ear and talk. Maybe you're hearing the draft.
Oh, that's better. No, that's okay. It should just be on my end, no problem. Yes, I have YouTube muted. I know that. I've been doing this for a little bit. I've got a
how's the Great North?
It's going good, guys. So yeah, I just thought I'd pop on, say hello. It's a beautiful day out here, but I think with age comes a lack of tolerance for the heat because I can't handle the heat this year. So
109 in Vegas right now.
Wait a second.
I couldn't believe it.
It's hot up north.
Well, of course it's hot here. Yeah, we just came out of a heat wave. We were hitting in the 90s, if you want to speak in American terms. Yeah. So that's pretty hot for here.
Oh no, that's hot pretty much everywhere. But
and considering we were in a water ban as well, that doesn't
thing
make
that
it easy.
sort of surprises me is you've got the Canadian Rockies there, so your airflow should be pretty much stable.
I worked in it for 25 years. You acclimate to it every year.
Oh, I imagine you would. Yeah, you absolutely would. You know,
But now that I'm retired, when it's hot outside, I turn around and go back in the house usually.
Yeah. We had to break out the air conditioners in the bedrooms for last week, so just because it was that hot. The Rockies have nothing to do with keeping the weather cool here. If anything, they cause Chinook winds in the winter, which warms our air. So, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So my experience with the Great North was in Kamloops, and it was -5 most days of the week.
And where was that?
Kamloops.
Kamloops is in
BC. It's by
British
Vancouver.
Columbia. Very rare for them to get to negative temperatures, so you must have picked a harsh winter for them. So, because British Columbia is usually above zero in the winter, and depending on where you are in British Columbia too, right? So, in the mountains or in the mainland, right? So, yeah.
Where are you located at?
Me, I'm in Calgary.
Tim, you're right. I've got a big project leaving out starting Monday up to Fort Saskatchewan.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So my guys will be coming through your town and screwing up traffic real bad for you for the next couple of weeks.
Oh, awesome. Good. Well, as long as they don't screw up downtown too bad, I'm okay with that.
No, they'll go around. They got some of them 22-foot wide loads that are, I think,
oh, wow,
176,000 pounds.
Wow. Nice.
So we're starting that Monday morning.
Yeah, they usually do if they come through a major city, they'll usually permit those things through during the evening or the overnight hours when they can basically block off the highways to allow that through.
Yeah, I don't know what their exact route is up there. I haven't looked at it, but I think they're going around the west side on 201, I believe, is what I heard. I don't remember now, but anyway, it's going to take them probably a week to get up there because they're leaving out of east central Oklahoma. They're starting to load Monday, so the first couple trucks will probably get out sometime Monday, but they'll be coming out 2 a day for the next 2 weeks.
What are they hauling, Scott?
Yes, they are hauling.
Okay.
That's what I can say, Jerry.
All right. Something that'll be under a tarp?
No, it's not under a tarp, but you wouldn't know what they were. They're crated up, so.
All right.
It's parts for a gas oil pumping station, something or another. Yeah, I don't know exactly what it is, but it's going up there to that great big complex to the northeast of Calgary there at Fort Sask. Anyway.
Yeah, it's probably to do with the Trans Mountain Pipeline.
Believe so, yes. Plains midstream pipeline.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So.
Cool. Well,
yeah,
thank
speaking
you for
of
sending
maple syrup, I heard about a lot of counterfeiting going on in that department too.
Transporting maple syrup, yes. Well, Jerry, speaking of transporting, you do have a package on the way. It went by Canada Post, so you should get it Monday or Tuesday. So,
okay, thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
No worries at all. My pleasure.
You need postage or anything for it?
Nah, no, don't worry about that at all. No.
Well, thank you.
It's my own stupidity. For some reason I accidentally ordered 3 of them. I don't need 3 of them. So, but it was not worth sending back. So,
all right.
Yeah.
He's talking about a rat rig, guys, 500 by 500.
yeah, I've sent him my rat rig down. My rat rig's gone, and yeah, it's on its way to Jerry. Yeah, right. He wishes, and
now
I
people
wish
are
I
going to be
wish.
emailing him left and right and messaging. Well, why are you sending him one? Why can't I have it?
I wish I could send one like that to you, but man, the postage would kill us both.
Yeah. Yeah, currently when I ship anything, I go to pirateship.com. That's where I've got my best rates at.
Yeah.
Shipping is just intolerable lately.
It's crazy, isn't it? Especially, if I ship something from Canada to the U.S., it's reasonable. But if I order something from the U.S. to Canada, I don't know why, but it's just like they just stick it right up your wazoo.
USPS.
That's the best way to express it.
Well, yeah.
I would like to say that Amazon has free shipping, but I pay $140 a year for what they call free shipping. And if you order enough stuff, it's like free shipping, but not really.
Yeah.
Because Amazon Prime, as far as Amazon Video, is kind of lacking. There's a show here and there I might watch, but most of it.
If you order enough stuff, like you said, it is worth it. So if you do more, if you do like 3 orders a month of Amazon of like random orders, then like that totally pays for itself.
So
but...
three a month is the number, Josh. Hang on here a second. Well, I average about 10 a month.
You know how well? So like back before I invested in that, it was anytime you ordered, you had to keep it at like $25. So like if you're someone who's like, oh, I gotta get that free shipping, now all of a sudden you were buying something for $12.
Yeah.
And now you're like, well, I'll just add another 3 $12 items to get it to $25, and then I'll get free shipping.
Yeah.
Amazon says I've had 120 orders so far in 2024.
And so, but they're like, yay, cool, buy more stuff.
And a month. Yep.
I've done more than that.
Matt's not here right now. This would be a great conversation for him. All his algorithms and numbers and this stuff is all like, again, like how do you get the customer to come back in? Like, if you entice them with that free shipping, or do you get them to be like, oh wow, damn, I have to buy 5 items to get that free shipping. Buy that subscription makes sense.
I'm ordering by fresh, so my groceries come. There's a free charge.
A lot of people are changing their COVID changed a lot of things. I feel like COVID partially was like let's test the waters as far as what consumers will consume. And I go to my local mall. My local mall is just dying. Like
I think all malls are pretty much dead. The only time I would ever go to a mall would be to go to the food court. Would probably be the only reason.
But you just literally described like what are we, like we need food obviously to survive. So and chain restaurants are dying. So like hopefully mom and pop shops don't.
I don't think a chain restaurant's dying unless you live in California. Other than that, they're doing great.
Oh hell no! In-N-Out is not suffering at all. There's no way In-N-Out is suffering.
Yeah, unless you're in California, then they shut down.
I think my Prime is paying for itself. I ordered 26 items in June.
But that's the so like if you used to go to, like me and B talk about it all the time. You used to go to the mall. You used to shop. That was what you did.
Yep.
And it was the outing for the family. It was like, oh, let's go to the mall and we'll shop.
Yeah.
Like it's not like that anymore.
You have gas on top of that, and then you have you're going to get lunch while you're in the mall. The kids are going to want their treats or their ice cream or whatever.
And things we still are that things are inflated. It's some stuff's not, which is nice when you're like, oh wow, this is still and will always be $4.
Yep.
But then stuff you're over here like, yo, I spent $4 on this 3 years ago, and now it's 15. Like,
I got some vitamins for my wife last week on Amazon. It came in an envelope, no big deal. It's a small package. It came in a white envelope. And then the following week, they sent another one in a great big box. I'm thinking, who in the hell packaged that? You're going to get fired. I'm talking a big box had vitamins in it. It should have been the envelope. It's like, who did that? That's idiotic, having such a big box.
Well, the machine picks the packaging. The people packing the stuff at the plant at the fulfillment center,
that
Jerry,
makes sense.
They have absolutely nothing to do with it. The machine uses some kind of algorithm, and it knows that this is going to go on this truck, and it's going to need this packaging to properly fit the truck.
So they might have want to fill a void. That's why the bigger box. Yeah. Okay. That's crazy.
That little robot that grabs it and goes and carts it around just bumped into another robot, and they went.
Oops! Switch packages.
Well, they still got people picking too.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Oh, sure they do.
What's that, Phoenix?
He said he'd be right back.
Oh, okay. His camera froze.
Yeah, I mean, it's like for me, this is social interaction, and like that's where you're not going to have that anymore if there's no stores, because I know a lot of people would go to the stores for social interaction, like, oh, I got a product to buy, but Jimmy's working today, so I'll go say hi to him. I like him. He's a good sales clerk,
Yeah.
and that's what brings people to. I got a mom and pop store I love, and I just told him the other day, I'm like, you've got product that no one else has, and I
hope you have a great barbecue.
But it's hard. It's hard for a lot of things, for product, and it's like, when I remember going to Target, getting Raspberry Pi 3. I could go to Target 3 times in a month and just grab a Raspberry Pi for $40. I'm like, yay, Raspberry Pis are in abundant, and then boom, gone, decimated.
I don't order my groceries online. I want to go there in person and pick out my own products, because I don't like the way they pick out things. You might go to the produce and buy something that's overripe or way underripe or too small, or et cetera, et cetera. I want to pick out my own product.
Yeah, that's the tough part of the
Matt,
online
you're back.
shopping.
So, like, does anybody else like Matt feel like, if you had somebody handling your product, your produce, your food, and they've got an energy to them, let's just say that they're angry and they've had a horrible week and now they're touching your food, and do you get that food? Do you ingest their negative energy? Like, and if someone was positive and I'm giving you good positive energy in your food, do you eat that food and you become positive? Like,
I'm positive I eat food.
But it's like the same thing as like a blessing. Some people are like, oh, I gotta bless my food. I'm gonna bless, the abundance of my food, and like they got like gratitude and they speak positive instead of negative, and it can change.
The only
things.
one I think it's a cook, and the person who made the product to do the cook can cook it. So
heart and soul, though, right?
The farmer grows my food, and if the cook grows I think those two people, not anyone else.
My son has his groceries delivered, and occasionally he gets free groceries because they drop off somebody else's order by his front door. He's even got some pizzas one time. I don't remember his pizza, but sandwiches or something from another place were delivered, hot food. Well, there's no reason to call up the business and tell them they delivered the wrong address, because if they come and get it, they're going to throw it in trash. Once you got it, it's yours. No matter what it is,
once it's in somebody else's hands, they cannot take it back by law. That's a federal law.
So if you got it, enjoy it.
There's so many noise going on, so can you please, some of you can one at a time, please?
I do grocery delivery all the time, or I get grocery delivery all the time. And if it takes too long and it's 100 degrees out, it's like I'm not gonna eat like macaroni salad that's been sitting in somebody's hot car at 100 plus degrees. Yeah. Like I'll message them and get a refund on that. It's like you had it for an hour.
You got to think about that though. Like if the majority of your product is moving around, I talk about like leached water. If your water has been traveling from California to Massachusetts across the like that's getting in boxed trailers that are like up above 110 depending on where they're at and traveling through. That's not good for the water that we just grab and we're like, oh yeah, it's water, whatever. But then
moving water is not a big problem. I mean, the problem is we only have so many resources, right? In California, they're running out of water, right? So
no more.
the only possibility what you guys I can see is you guys have to buy some TBMs from Germany and start bloody digging from any side direction you can go and as fast as possible, and hope you don't go through a fissure like like in California, because the fissure of the plate movements, right? You need to be able to bridge that, because if you go with a TBM through this type of fissures in these type of areas, you're just gonna yeah, that too, or the TBM gets stuck.
They filled that full of concrete, Matt. San Andreas Fault. It ain't there no more. They filled it up with concrete a couple of years ago. It's gone.
Yeah, so it can open up again. It's just a matter of time. These are the type of weak points. So these would be the locations. If an earthquake happens, they need to be shut off on each side so the water doesn't go into the abyss.
Again, I wasn't paying attention.
All good. Dream Void says everything in California causes cancer. Oh, where'd it go?
But
gonna focus.
There you go.
And on pretty much everything I buy
causes cancer.
Yep.
I mean, that's just like a great way to be like, we're not liable for you. And that's California in a nutshell. Like, we don't just leave us alone. Take care of yourselves. Don't hold us liable for anything. Please go.
Yeah, California's too happy.
The whole United States is too happy. It's not a California problem. Our whole society is litigious. It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm in the trucking and transportation business. I can't tell you how many lawsuits we're currently under at any given day of the week, but it's a lot.
Hey, Scott, mentioning that, I watch a lot of YouTube like a lot of people do. And I've been watching a lot of trucking videos where people intentionally get in front of them, they slam on their brakes, try to fuck with the truck driver.
Just had that happen 2 weeks ago.
Hey, hijacking is a big problem.
I think those truckers should ram the fucking car, knock it off the road, and not stop. But of course, they can't do that. But I wish they would. That's complete bullshit when people want to cut off big rigs or get in front of them.
That's why you have cameras on there.
Yeah. Depending on their load, they're not going to be able to stop in time.
So, if anyone does that here,
they think they're funny,
they're risking
then
their
they
lives.
get hit and they're trying to sue.
Yeah, so
they're risking their lives.
Yeah, exactly. Dumb. I mean, in some ways, I do agree with
anybody that brake checks the vehicle. No sympathy.
In some ways, I do agree with Liam. Like, let's take all the warning labels off, but nah, I don't want to go to that because I know what the warning label means. You know what I mean? If those people do not want to take it, they're taking a chance. But
should we put society back to the early 70s or 80s?
Say it again.
Put society back in order according to the 70s or 80s.
No. We are where we are now, right? We can't turn back time.
I mean, that's the thing, though, is like
take some of the ideas what we had.
Ignorance is bliss. Like, again, like I'm doing all the filament waste. I drive an hour every day, or not every day, but like, once a month at this point to grab someone else's bamboo waste, and everyone thinks I'm
somebody's
nuts.
Doing it.
And I feel
you
like
can use it.
Well, sure. And I'm joking now at this point that 2025, I won't have to buy filament. I'll just go into the garage and
you become self-sufficient.
Hey, Jerry, just so that you understand, the San Andreas is way too big to fill with concrete.
You can't fill the San Andreas Fault with concrete. That thing's thousands of miles.
I wasn't being serious. I just want to see what Matt would say.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the point. Like I said, it opens up anyway, even if we have this amount of concrete, right?
That'd be like, we're just going to go dump all our trash in it. Eventually, all our trash will fill it up.
Some people used to do it in the past. Some people used to do that.
Hoyok Mall is on a dump.
And
it shifts.
All the trash in California and in the sea dumps, the trash subsidy in the Atlantic or the Pacific. I doubt you could probably fill up even a tenth of what's in the gap between the plates.
So they're saying by 2055, we're pretty much going to be like 75% above like a ratio that we shouldn't be with our waste accumulation, even though so like even when something's incinerated, it's still waste. It's still like a byproduct.
It's still
ash.
in the air.
It's still something that needs to be like moved and pushed, and yes, it's even in the air. And so
Hey,
people
Tim.
are like,
okay, there are
Tim,
solutions.
Isn't
right?
there a company in your country that's slowly sucking the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere?
Probably more than one. Probably a handful of companies that are doing that. Why not? Sure.
So that's the thing, is a lot of people think that when you're like, oh, my recycling at the recycling, if it doesn't get recycled, it gets incinerated. And most people hear that and they think, oh, green energy. And it's like, no, like it's bad green energy. It's more efficient than putting it into a trash heap, but it's still being burnt, and it's not being like burnt good. It's not producing good energy. It's not producing any energy. It's being burnt. So if we can have facilities that are putting it back into our energy, and not just like in major cities, but like all our cities, because again, like most of this is creating new filament, and if you don't have to create new filament, you're not making all that energy to make it. You're not pulling it out of raw materials. You're just taking it back. And so this stuff doesn't, again, move from Massachusetts to Ohio, and then from Ohio to California, because that's the weird chain that we have, at least in America, to move. You know, like, I don't know out in Europe how things move and how travel, but there's a central hub. And those central hubs are connected to the government agencies that are connected to the soda companies and the people who produce the plastics and that use the plastics.
Matt, you got to use your other arm to hold it there.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, you have a point. It is the chain of causation.
Where'd you sneak up?
Right? Right. But each part of the chain the cause of the chain causation is the individual skill, what is to make the product. Like you said, raw material going into plastic, and then plastic gets moved from A to B and so on. This is all logistics and, skill. But we need to be more efficient to be able to recycle most of it, right? So we have a lot of plastic. That's the main problem what we have now, right? So
yeah.
And like, I like what who said it, we should go back into the past. Like, yes, the answer is in the past. It's called a glass bottle. We've been using it for 2,000 years, or whenever the Romans invented glass. No, actually, that's not entirely true. The Romans took it and made it to industrial purposes, right? But originally the idea comes from the Middle East, from Mesopotamia, something like this, like Iraq, this area. Anyway, and it's the tribesmen who figured out, when they were sitting in the sand and they're creating a big fire, and that certain areas of the desert had certain molecules, like sand, of course, you need for glass, and then the second is silicone, and there's some kind of material. It eludes me right now, but because they created that fire, and then next day when they woke up and it was smoldering, most likely somebody went through the ashes and tried to stamp it down and say, hey, there's something wrong with the ground, it's not soft, and pick it up. You can find similarities in Nevada at the nuclear test site. When they did the upground
glass.
Yes. And
so,
this is how
Matt, we have an entire beach that's nothing but glass.
Yeah, but this was thrown away glass, isn't it? Glass was dumped.
No. So
yeah, but glass happens anyway in natural.
So what happened?
Like volcanoes can sometimes do it.
Well, all rock can be made into glass. It's just
not entirely. It's the chemical structure of the sand.
Just the temperature.
It's just heat.
Yeah,
of course. The heat.
You can go
is key
and
to
you
make
can
glass.
take sun and you can magnify the sun into sand
Yeah.
and create a 3D structure out of
Hey,
that because
that's a good idea.
it's going into
you
that.
know?
They've got
Okay.
it. Like,
Hey, Tim.
Hey, you know this YouTube guy who does the death ray or something, where he uses a big magnifying
lens.
glass
Right,
and
Fresnel
point it
lens.
on a location, and
That's,
he put different materials
Fresnel
in front of
lens.
it, and then start popping. Try doing that with sand, and you probably can create sand, like even make forms in glass, like a 3D printer almost.
well, it's like Kenny's new
You know?
laser should be able to do that if he just blasted it into sand.
Well,
So,
see, the problem
You guys
is
had me singing when you were talking about heat, and I was going, the heat is on.
what do you got coming up tomorrow? What are you going to be doing on your live stream?
I am going to be getting Barbie wired.
Good luck.
Yep, I'm
Happy
getting
printing.
Barbie wired tomorrow. Huh?
I wish you good luck and happy printing.
Well, thank you very much, Matt. I
You're
appreciate
welcome. I appreciate
Wow.
you.
Wow.
So I noticed your community got 3 new members
Ladies
today,
and
or
gentlemen,
this week.
we got John with Tripod's Garage popping in. And yes,
Johnny.
I'm talking over everybody.
Oh no,
Let's go
everybody
back.
leave now. I'm leaving now. See you guys.
Go, Johnny, go, go.
Hey, Tripod.
Hey, John, how you doing?
Johnny, be good.
What? I mean, I had to like try to steer the ship here. It's about making. I mean, you guys are like all over the place with top.
Yeah,
my question's for you. Do you have enough lifeboats
ladies
on your
and
ship?
gentlemen, we got Rob Mink popping in. Rob Mink.
Man.
Hey guys.
Man, you let me in and Rob and Tim. Oh, really? I mean, we're really digging in, bottom of the barrel on this, aren't we?
Wow.
Wait, is this teal shirt Saturday? What's going on here?
Thank you for the follow.
I didn't get the memo.
Oh, neither did I. I thought
Neither did I.
So.
Hey Matt.
It's been a while, guys. How you been?
What's going on,
So-
Tor?
Yeah, you can
So,
join us,
Tripod,
Stream White.
How's that boat design?
How's what?
The boat design?
Boat?
What are you building?
Oh,
a
you know,
boat?
I'm sorry. I'm thinking of
Lily quit it.
oh god, I can't think of his name now. He went to Murphy and he built a 3D printed boat.
That wasn't
How
me.
to
I've been to
Texan?
Murph.
Silverback creations.
You talking about how to Texan? He's the one building boats.
Yeah, Texan. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah. Ian.
John, you made a comment about a laser. What was this comment about? I missed it.
What brand and model laser? Your refrigerator, your freezer laser, as we call it here. Your chest laser. Is that what's coming in?
Oh, my RF laser. Yes, it's in California. I haven't got tracking yet. I don't know when it's going to be here. I'm assuming I'm going to get held up in customs for about 2 weeks.
Is it coming overseas? Coming from
It
overseas?
already came from China. It looks like this. That's the exact unit right there.
No.
And here's a better angle. It's not
Okay.
as big as it seems. That's how big it is. Weighs about 110 pounds.
Oh, it's
Okay.
110. Yeah, ours weighs. Our Mira 7 weighs close to 500 pounds.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's got a built-in chiller and stuff in there. So
Okay.
yeah, I still have to
You
put.
said you rented a lift to jack it up to get it on the table. You said.
Yeah, I still have to put the antifreeze in there.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Wow,
tried
Jerry.
everything. The moving straps and no.
What are you building that you need such a powerful laser?
It's an RF laser because I don't want another CO2 laser with a glass tube with a chiller on it. And a company that I'm working with are sending me one to test and review. And yeah, I wish it was huge. I can do bigger signs and I can cut clear acrylic. It's the only thing on the planet. A CO2 laser will cut clear acrylic. Nothing else will. So if I want to cut any clear acrylic or do larger signs, it won't work on my diode.
Okay.
I try to review and test only things that I want to use. I quit randomly getting a hold of every company out there to keep pumping out lots of content. It takes too long to do lots of content. So I try to get things that I want to use.
Yeah,
That'll
that's
work.
not just going to take up space in your back room.
Yeah. Well, I would review it if I didn't want it, and then I'd wind up flipping it and I'd sell it half price or something. That's usually what I do. Wow, we were arguing and talking over each other. Now we're dead quiet. That's crazy.
Oh, wow.
What's been going on? What's new? Tripod, Rob? Anything you guys want to talk about?
Not too much. I just continuing to tune up the baby tripod. Sorry, I thought you said Rob.
Either one.
You said try Rob.
Try Rob.
Rob, try.
Here we go.
Rob is trying.
I'll try.
Try Rob.
I'm just continuing to tune up the baby belt. Coming out with some mods for it. I have French cleat mods. You can hang it on the wall. I'm thinking about some other mods too. I am working with a kit maker, but I've been doing that for a year. I'm trying to work with them to get them so that we'll have kits out at Printopia Earth in a box. They've sent me some trial kits and I've put them together and they work great. I
can't wait for that.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be so much fun. I think I'm going to be meeting up with the Nomad, the Positron guy, next weekend. Driving up to Philly to hang out with him, and that should be fun too. So, I've got a couple other projects that I've been kind of backburnering that I need to really get done in the next 2 months. So, Josh knows about both of them and my trepidation as well as delaying factors that I do. And yes, I owe like 3 people kits too. So, and assemble.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna go this night. So have a good day.
Take care, Phoenix. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, I'm excited for those kits.
Well, thanks.
Things happen in due time. Baby steps.
Baby steps for the baby belt.
I like to think that things manifest themselves. That doesn't always work, you know, when you actually have to put work into things, but it's good to not beat yourself up.
Yeah, I need to do some documentation too, and I do this every year where I get the printer nice and polished and ready to go, like 2-3 months before the festival, and then I'm like, I did this in the fall too, with or actually no, anyways, when Colorado Rocky Mountain, I have a perfectly polished product, and I'm like, I want to make it better, and then I scramble and bring a half polished turd to the festival, and it's not as good as the previous one is because I'm still in development. But when I finish it, then it's even better. So I'm not going to let myself.
There's something. It's a disease. I don't want to say it's a disease. It's a bug. It's the rep wrap bug. Like you get excited before, and then you get there and you're like, oh my god, bullet points, bullet points, bullet points, and then you leave and you're like, oh my god, more bullet points. And I don't know about you, but you know, like you just said it, like you all of a sudden you had something that was like fine, exactly how it was, but then you're like, oh, I can make it better. And then you're like literally making it better at the event, like, and the event leaves, and you're like still even making it better, like.
Nope, not this time. I am not letting myself bring Baby Belt V3. I haven't even started catting the V3. I have ideas for it. I'm not bringing it to Printopia. I'm not designing it before Printopia. I'm not going to allow myself to do it. Because the V2 is working great. I have one hanging off the wall right now, just printing stuff. It's been printing stuff until it runs out of filament because I haven't put a run out sensor on that printer. And every print that comes off is perfect. So.
Well, that's good to hear.
Well, guys, I got to jump off here. I got a dog sitting there behind me telling me if I don't take her out to go to the bathroom, I'm going to be cleaning up my office.
Well, thank you, Scott, for coming on. I really appreciate it. You have a great weekend.
I'm gonna fire this thing up while I'm printing all the samples right now. I've got a stack of them here. Here's all the pieces I'm going to break, and there'll be a video coming out on that one. So Anyway, but I gotta get these dogs out. She's losing her patience with me now.
Well, when I see the video, I'll share it on my socials for you.
Okay.
Nice seeing
All right.
you.
Have a great day.
Take care, guys. See you, John.
Take care, dude.
Tor, Josh, Jerry, Matt, Tim.
Thanks,
Later.
Later.
See ya. It's hammer time. Oh, look at that. Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know if I like the hammer or the axe better. So
That's
the
beautiful.
The axe is.
Make good Father's Day presents.
They would.
Good Christmas presents, man. I never know what to get my pop.
I got a big Rambo knife and some machetes, but I haven't tried to engrave them yet.
That's super fun, especially, you know, if you're coming up with like quick designs. Like, so we have Eastern States, the Big E, and it draws in people from Connecticut to Rhode Island and New York.
It's all gone. No
and
more.
it's just a bunch of makers and
Go in the
crafters
kitchen,
and
eat
stuff.
some.
That would be totally something someone would have set up with the laser and just be banging them out custom at the show.
Well, I mean, if you could do a lower power and get something like that, but you know, you could actually get a decent. How can I say it?
Like what's what that top part? Just branding the top part, like.
Well, that would take about 40 minutes for like 6 passes.
Have you been using your 120 watt at all?
100, I've used it, but yeah, it's just the problem is it's just by the time I get to it, it's like I got something else in the pipeline, or I have to fix something in the house. So,
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's 100 watt MOPA. So I fired it up a couple weeks ago just to make sure it still worked.
What's the hammer with the handle run on that, like for time wise? Same 40.
Well, you probably get away with 2 passes. I just want depth. That's why I kept on going. You probably get away with 2 passes. Probably do both sides within like 35 minutes or less.
So you like bang out a hammer an hour, more or less?
I can hammer out a hammer.
It's like doing a brass coin. You might do 200 or 300 passes. It depends.
And so if you sold that right now as a product, just amongst your time and effort, like what would you do?
I probably, you know, it's the hammer itself is like $6 Harbor Freight, but I would definitely want to make sure I get rid of the Pittsburgh part. So I'd probably polish it, you know, or send it through a lot of cleaning passes ahead of time. Or you find hammers that don't have any branding on them. So like when I did the knife, it specifically didn't have any branding on it, which was what you want, because then it's like, so the knife has no branding at all on it, which makes it easier to sell, and you don't have to try to get rid of the logo somehow creatively. And this, both sides of the blade, probably 10 minutes or less. So it also depends on how, you know, you don't want the blade to be, you don't really want to feel it too much, because then it doesn't slide off the blade and then it gets all gunked up in the engraving. Or if someone just wants it for, you know, a showpiece or something instead. But, you know, like
setting up the design will take a while to do. Set up the design to get ready to engrave it.
So the hammer I would probably sell for like $60 or $70 or more. You got to count your hour. Even though the machine's running, you're still monitoring it. You can't leave it alone. Designing the file too. Like the file took me. I did for that video. I showed how I did it. It was pretty quick and crude. So it only took me about 5 minutes to make. So, but and same with the knife and
it's all about time.
Yeah. So I, you know, as I told my daughter, I'm like, it's like, how much should I charge? I said, you give yourself an hourly rate plus materials and packing.
Yep. Your shop hour. It's like,
you
know,
you
60, $80 an hour. That's what it is. And if you want something, it's $60, $80 an hour. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, well, people will say back to you, oh, it's a $7 hammer. Yeah, and
I'm an hourly person. Sorry,
yep.
My hourly rate is $60, $70, or $80. You know.
Yeah, I mean, well, then you get a better quality one, but then you better make sure that. I mean, this side I just wanted to see for the. I didn't even show it in the video because I wasn't really.
That's where you're like, yo, I've got 3 hammers. One's 6, one's 12, and one's 18. My hourly rate is still 60, 70, or 80. You know, like,
yeah, because
it's rough. You know.
Yeah, because most people, this will be, you know, it depends on the angle too. You could see it. I mean, and the lighting in my garage is terrible for this, but most people would do a pass like that and say, "Oh, it's engraved enough," and be like, "Oh, that takes all 2 minutes." But I wanted the contrast where you could see it in the pictures. You know, I mean, it's I want to see it from a distance.
So are there like laser shops or like farms rather, like, you know, people have like 70 bamboo printers. Do people have 70 laser?
Oh, I'm sure. But you know, I mean, if I was to do it, I would create a jig, you know, and definitely source a ton from one manufacturer, so I'm getting consistency. And that's also another problem with the laser is if they change the compound just a little bit, you're screwed. And then you mess up a whole bunch so it's oh wow, it's all of a sudden coming down outside. But you know, people are like, oh, what are your settings? I put my settings out there, but it doesn't mean it's going to work for you the second time or third time. You know, I mean, the handle could be definitely from a different tree. You know, I mean, that's metals. Typically, you're going to get almost at least the same compound, but you know,
you like hit like a generic setting, and it's just like, okay, hit your generic setting and pray. You know, like at some point you're going to have to know what you're playing with as far as material.
Close, but it won't be exact, even if it's the same exact machine.
Yeah, it's like I already had people saying when I did the PMags that they couldn't do them. I'm like, you know, it's also consistency of the manufacturing process. Mine is my F1 Ultra. It was a pre-production unit, so I could only go off of, unless they sent me a production unit, and if it's different, then it is what it is. You know, because they told me, I mentioned I was the only one in all the videos that mentioned that it was pre-production. So, but they said it was like 95% of what people were getting. I'm like, okay. So, I mean, when it comes to stuff like that, like a laser, you just hope that the source is consistent, you know, because that's what is needed.
Well, sure, like, and that's where, you know, be like, oh, well, Jimmy over here is using this material and I used it. And then so if it's not the exact same source or brand, and then genetic makeup, like you said, does that go back to the manufacturer of the actual product that you're using? And you're like, yo, your laser sucks. Like, you know, it's like, well, you know, did you use the same, like you said, did you use the same material, and was it using the same makeup? And
well, Josh, like the PMags are all this, you know, this one guy was pinging me. I helped him with the IR laser for the X tool, D1. And then he's like, you know, I tried your settings on the same brand of PMag. I said, well, my PMags are like 2 years old. I wonder if the polymers have changed. I doubt it. So, but it tells, and then other people were saying that they were having problems too. So that tells me that, well, it might be the laser source has changed. So,
Josh, some things about lasers too is just like with a 3D printer, you have different resistances and different power supplies and different thermistors, and they're all calibrated. You PID tune them. With a laser, they don't have a consistent output over time. They gradually drop. You have a misfocus, a misalignment.
Sure,
you know,
I hear you.
Your laser output powers are not all the same. You got to tune it.
It's on until it's done, and you're hitting it at frequencies until it burns out.
Yeah,
well, it's like our lifestyle. Or here, you're partying or you're not, and then you're done.
well, I mean, at least with the 3D printer, you're very consistent, except for your environment that can make it wonky. But for the most part, when someone gives you your settings, they'll be very consistent.
How much is like a laser affected by like mechanic? Like again, I'm not familiar with the mechanics of a laser, but I'm assuming they're inside of their chamber, and when the chamber gets smoky, like how much does that affect, you know, its environment as far as like what it's burning into, where it would potentially burn itself out faster?
You're more worried about your focals, your lenses getting dirty, you know, because and most, like, a lot of these manufacturers are starting to get wise, and like I won't review a laser anymore unless it's fully enclosed, and it's just and it can't be massive. I'm not going to do I just don't have the room. So I got the big CO2, I got plenty of gavels and gantry lasers. And it has to be unique too. So, and something I want to review, as Jerry said. You know, I get a couple dozen emails a week, and most of them I just ignore.
I wanted to get into. I have an obsession with cleaning the coins that I've got, my old arcade tokens, and so they're very fragile, and I can't really do much to them without causing issues. I kind of wanted to hit them with a laser, but I don't want to invest in anything expensive, and I like those little like 5-inch by 5-inch by 5-inch tabletop lasers that are like $100 on Amazon.
They won't work.
But I don't know if they're worth anything. You know, like
you need a 1064 source. Those are $455.
So again, I'm just trying to like hit like oils and stuff on a coin that have been through time, and so I'm not trying to dig deep, you know, like.
Well, no. We watched the cleanup pass on the axe that I did. You know, you could watch people that remove the oils and stuff with a fiber laser. It's just a very high speed and high frequency pass. And
buy a tumbler on Amazon is what I would do, Josh. It's like people engrave brass coins, they put them through a tumbler that they get on Amazon, and that would probably clean up those coins.
I did it, and yeah, I don't know if I don't know enough about like the bits and pieces and stuff that I got. I got like a very micro, the tumbling bits, and it like took chunks out of the coin.
Well, there's one that has like triangles or something in their prisms or something.
Sure. Well, yeah, I hear you. Do you think like those like? Do you think those would like clean?
YouTube videos. Google it or YouTube videos. What I would suggest.
YouTube University, right?
You know what kills me is like I'll take a wire brush, and I'll hit it with the wire brush, and it will sparkle. But I'll have the wire brush left behind, and it's just like, oh my god, it shines so vibrantly, but it looks like crap.
Yeah, I mean, you would have to have the laser.
And I've tried. It's so funny, like just I don't know, like seeing how Coca-Cola acts differently than like white vinegar as far as an agent to, clean. And how much one strips differently than another, like, so I've even kind of like, I don't know, I've done little tests for myself where I'm not happy. But it's just like one of those things where it's like, this is why people tell you don't clean coins. Like, they're like, you're going to just destroy it the second you look at it. So don't just preserve it. Just put it on the shelf and enjoy it.
Again, your coins are most likely all different types of
yeah,
alloys,
and they are.
You do one way, and you put it under laser, and you're like, okay, I got my settings down, and they come from a different batch. Or
I did a polishing. Yeah. I put it in a tumbler with some polishing material and wasn't thinking, and I took that out after an hour, and it was a mess.
That's when you're probably better off with a nice buffing wheel and compound.
I hear you.
On a Dremel or something like that.
I have weight, and I'm just like, how do I do these fast. And so again, I thought the laser might be a nice
grinder, compound, and
I feel you. I feel you. I've got it. I'll go down that. I think I'll go down that.
That's the most gentle way to do it. And you go through your grits just like you're doing like on a car for buffing out.
I've gone down that rabbit hole where you're just like, did I just watch an hour power polishing video on a quarter, like where I watched them polish this quarter down to perfection for an hour, like. So yeah, I don't quite want to put an hour's worth of work into a quarter. So drawn a blank on the tabletop kind of like appliance laser that you can buy. If you know what I'm talking about, it's probably about 3 feet wide. You can, load stuff up. It's probably the main CNC laser that people would buy to get started.
Jerry has the one that he could show a picture of the one that he's receiving, but they make the tabletop versions of those. So
is that like more, an appliance aspect version of a product?
My internet just blinked out. I didn't hear what you said, John.
I just called you a jerk. So it was timing.
What laser are you getting, Jerry?
Oh, I got an RF laser. It's a 40-watt RF radio frequency, similar to it's like probably an 80-watt CO2, but I'll have to wait until I get it and see all the specs on it. It works with radio frequency. It's a metal tube that's air-cooled versus a glass tube that you run water or a coolant through it to keep the tube cool.
Is Glowforge is what I was trying to get out of my mouth. Is it like a good, decent, startup?
Well, to me, Glowforge is a very overpriced
garbage.
Yeah, you're walking into their ecosystem, and it's.
Well, I'm a trashy person. I like garbage, so like, should I just stay away from it, or
Well, no, it's you're locked into the internet with it. If their system goes down,
then you
have a
F that. I hate that.
Yeah,
So there's no one's come up with like any kind of jailbreak for that.
Well, no, but the thing is there's plenty of other models that are desktop like that out there. Like
I feel you. It's like having a DaVinci XYZ, or where you're just like, yeah, well, there's plenty other ones that aren't locked in.
Yeah, I'm going to be on another live stream in 2.5 hours. Laser Makers Brown, LA Hobby Guy, Jeremy HCL Customs, and I need to end this stream. Been streaming for 3 hours and 10 minutes. I need to get ready for the other stream later.
Yeah, I need to get food here.
But I appreciate everybody coming on and being here. Everybody watching on Twitch, watching on YouTube. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I'm going to do a raid real quick. I'm going to raid in the Maker deck on Twitch. And I'll get that started here now. That'll be going here in just a minute. And everybody watching on Twitch, I thank you very much. Those people that won with Polymaker, I hear it's taken 3 or 4 weeks of backlog, but I'm going to check on it. And I will get back with you and let you know what I find out. But I really appreciate it. Here goes the raid now.
Jerry.
And you guys have an awesome day, and I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you.
Take care, everybody. Bye, everybody.